What's going on, everyone? A Friday edition of On Cue. Rich Kenyon is here. And oh, by the way, let me just say this first and foremost to start things off. I've got breaking news on this Friday edition of On Cue. Breaking news that are going to upset the masses. They are going to disturb many. They are going to upset the apple cart. This just in. Caitlin Clark will never win an MVP in the WNBA. The WNBA will never, ever, ever allow Caitlin Clark to win this award. It is the league's dirty little secret that we are going to get into on this Friday. We want to welcome aboard a new sponsor, Hoops BI, as well. We are thrilled to have them part of On Cue, your guide to overseas professional basketball. So I was thinking about this. I wanted to obviously attack all the NFL stuff with the preseason and training camp, but you guys kind of egged me on to get into this conversation a little more. So that's exactly what we're going to do. That's exactly what we're going to do on this Friday, because I can tell you this right now. As much as we can argue, as much as we can debate the merits of good to great to transcendent to legendary players, and it's all up for discussion. This league will never, ever allow Caitlin Clark to win an MVP. And there are multiple reasons why. And I'll get into one of her teammates, Boston, going on a podcast and waxing poetic about their current teammate in Mitchell. But the bottom line is this. The narrative, the agenda, the media, if you look at this from a whole, the bottom line is this. The league cannot stand her. The media cannot stand her. It's like the worst kept secret. If the WNBA, if she has a historic season, and oh, by the way, if you take a deeper dive into her numbers, which we will, they're off the charts. They are off the charts. But as you know, in this age of content and sports, we can pretty much piggyback anything. We can pretty much turn around, and if we wanted to, we can push our own narratives. We can always push our own narratives. We can make the stats fit if we want to. And I'm not even going to get into the stats right now. If the WNBA ever woke up and realized what they have in front, then the best thing, optics-wise, is to basically, and I believe she's earned the conversation. She's earned the right to be at the table in the conversation. But the best thing for the WNBA would be to acknowledge her greatness and how much she is deserving of the award, give it to her, and move on. But they're never going to do it, because that means if they give Caitlin Clark, if the WNBA, if the voters that be, the powers that be decide she is the league's most valuable player, then basically they have given in to what everyone is telling them not to give in to. And that's the narrative that the league itself pushes, and they will never do that. The media outlets, the talking heads, those that vote will never go against the league, because that is the hand that is feeding them. They don't have the stones. They don't have the balls. It's not even being about a contrarian. It's doing what's right. And this is one of the reasons she will never, ever win the award, because she doesn't fit the narrative. She doesn't fit the face of what they're looking for in this league. And I said it weeks ago. I said it a couple of days ago. I said it last week. Let's take her out of the MVP conversation. Tongue in cheek, she played herself out of it. You know why? Because it doesn't matter what she does from here on out. The real reasons are the hate, the prejudice, the bias, the media, this certain agenda. And oh, by the way, I was thinking about this last night and doing a little more research this morning. As goofy and crazy as his head coach is, she must have a lot of freaking clout with the league. She's got to have a lot of clout with this league. Now, you want to get on Boston for going on a pod and giving Mitchell all the shine, whatever. I posted it out there. The optics, it looks bad. She's not even addressing Caitlin Clark. She's not even giving Caitlin Clark the flowers. So now all of a sudden you got a teammate basically pushing another teammate, which, oh, by the way, might even box her out when it comes to first team all WNBA. But when it's all said and done, when the smoke settles, when the dust settles, it doesn't matter what numbers she puts up going forward. It doesn't matter what numbers she puts up next season. It just doesn't matter. If they give her the WNBA MVP, then basically they have now caved in to the pressure. And if you know this league and you know anything about this league, they refuse to do it because there's no rhyme or reason. There's no consistency. There's no continuity. It's all agenda and narrative based. It's not even based on stats and facts to back it up. It's not. They will not allow Caitlin Clark, who happens to be a white player, a straight white player, a great straight white player, to ever win the award. Facts. They won't do it. They won't allow it. The media will not vote on her. The gutless media, I can't believe they're allowing some of these voters. You know the crux, you know the meat and potatoes of this voting panel. They're never even made public. But 95% of them are on ESPN. You really think they're going to cast their vote for this kid? That's the dirty little secret. They will never, ever, ever, ever give her this award. Ever. They just won't. She can do whatever she wants to do stat-wise, number-wise, and it does not matter. It doesn't matter. Those are the facts. She doesn't look the part. She doesn't sound the part. She doesn't act the part. All she does is basically go out and play. That's all she does. Her numbers speak for themselves. They speak for themselves. You know, look, you want to sit there and talk about Mitchell being a great player, but you call her an MVP? Clearly, Caitlin Clark is better? Then I'm going to have to get on you. Your credibility's shot. Look what Clark is doing on the season. 21 points, playing 29 minutes, 4 rebounds, close to 9 assists. Mitchell, 24 points, 1.7 rebounds, 2.7 assists. So this narrative, when we talk about who's the better defensively, I'm not even buying that crap. Go to the film. Show me receipts. Do you realize that because of Caitlin Clark's greatness, Mitchell is having the type of season she has? Does anyone understand that? You don't even need to be a basketball savant. I mean, hell, it's a friggin' Friday. I wanted to come on the air, talk football, but I had so many of you guys who I love when you guys chat and debate. You wanted to talk about the MVP conversation. Why? Because Boston goes on a podcast and gives her teammate Mitchell all the shine, all the gloss, all the flowers, and basically nothing to Clark. Like, you can praise a player, but stop trying to rewrite history or rewrite reality. Like, get a fact check. Seriously. I got to check you at the door with this nonsense. Great players, they need teammates who also elevate their game. So, yes, it works hand in hand. But, again, she doesn't look the part. She doesn't sound, act, or play the part. And now you've got a media that goes, pardon me, out of their way to basically, you know what, on this kid. So now the WNBA is going to entrust a dedicated panel of sports writers and broadcasters. Well, let's call it what it is. You're going to get the friggin' clowns on ESPN. You're going to get the friggin' talking heads on ESPN. You're going to get the pacifists, the activists that can't stand Caitlin Clark, and they're going to be your voting pool. This kid doesn't stand a chance in hell. At all. So you can throw out all the friggin' numbers you want at me today and try to squash my case. The bottom line is, the reality is, she doesn't look how they want her to look. She doesn't sound the way they want her to sound. She doesn't act the way they want her to act. And now you also have a head coach that I'm really starting to believe has more friggin' clout within this league, pulling the strings of the puppets, i.e. the players, i.e. Caitlin Clark, more clout and I think more cachet and power within the league than we really give her credit for. She'll never win an MVP. I hope she walks. I hope next year she walks. Frig this team. Because The team itself, the organization, what's wrong with saying, again, you have two great players, co-MVP? What's wrong with that? Seriously. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. But we never do that. We want to push. Why? Because it's force-fed from the organization from top to bottom. There's like no defending that. You want to sit there and you want to give love and respect to your teammate, okay? Because you're on a podcast with Candace Parker and you want some clout, you want some clicks, you want a little love, you want a little juice, and you're going to tell me Wilson, Miles, Mitchell buckets? No. And you're not even going to mention your friggin' teammate who, oh, by the way, gets you involved in the friggin' offense. Oh, by the way, you're the same player where she basically handed you a dime behind the arc and you decided to not shoot it. It speaks to everything I've said over the last, I would say, 2 weeks. Everything I've said over the last 2 weeks, where no matter what happens, it does not matter. She can go out and score 55 points tonight. She can have a quadruple double. It just is not going to, it is about championships. I get it. But when you put the stats together and you look at the plus minus, when you look at the impact on the floor, I said it weeks ago. After the triple-double, after the 45-10, after the triple-double, put her in the conversation. And then we said in tongue-in-cheek 3 days ago, you know why I'm taking her out of the conversation? Because it doesn't matter what she does. It doesn't. Every time these networks flash 4 or 5 players, she's nowhere to be found. She's nowhere to be found. So I got to trust a panel of credited sports writers, BS writers, and broadcasters who have an agenda? Do you really think that's fair? So you're going to get 65, 72 select members of the media. I guarantee if someone or a handful have the stones to turn around and challenge that, it's going to be the most volatile kind. It's like the Hall of Fame voting process. So you've got, again, some of these prominent reporters, right? Whether it's Pelton, whether it's Andrews, whether it's Vopel, and then you've got these talking heads on the air, the McNutts of the world, the Carters of the world, right? The haters of the world, left and right. You really think they're going to cast their vote for Clark? I mean, it's not even up for discussion. It's not even a debate. I don't think this kid's ever going to win an MVP in this league. And if they were smart, if the WNBA was smart and you had the Wilson fatigue, the best thing to do, knowing if you look at the numbers and if we're being objective and we are being fair, okay? Look at the stats and then look at the impact. The Fever already own 9 of 10 of the most watched WNBA games this season. And tonight, you got who? You got Cece and you got buckets. But oh, by the way, Ion comes out with a stupid promotional piece. So when the ratings come in, yeah, I got news for you. Indiana's going to own all 10 spots. This league doesn't want to admit that it centers around one player. They don't. I'm looking at a player that's averaging 21 and 8. And if you look at all the metrics above metrics, she's outpacing her peers in assist and efficiency. And we want to gloss it over and we want to just ignore it. And she's probably not even going to get first team all WNBA because everyone's pushing for Mitchell. The media hates her. The broadcasts don't even acknowledge her. And I'm going to trust you to vote for me? Again, I don't have a problem. Listen, if you're a player and you go on a pod and you want to give light to a player, that's fine. But don't do it while diminishing another player. Okay? Has there been one broadcaster out there, one talking head out there, one reporter out there that has openly, publicly campaigned for Caitlin Clark being WNBA MVP? She is, without a doubt, the most impactful player on the floor. I don't want to hear this crap anymore that it's Mitchell. Because if you take Clark off the floor, Mitchell's not putting together the season she is. But Mitchell is a great player. So that can be true as well. All they did is just drag her character through the mud all season long, and all she's been doing is playing. And that's, again, while I'm so pissed off and disappointed and fired up, as much as I wanted to come on and talk a little Mendoza last night, a little quarterback controversy in Cleveland, all these injuries going on, you guys were asking me, you were commenting, we put the poll question up there. I said, you know what? We'll fire off for about an hour. We'll get them going. We'll get them cooking on a Friday. She does not fit. Her face isn't going on a friggin' poster. It's not. It's just not. At some point, she's going to win. She may go ringless her entire career. We're not talking about championships today. Championships, you're measured by, but there are great players that have played for 15 plus years in leagues, in sports, that never won championships. It didn't diminish their career. Good day to you as well. As long as people like Pete exist, Clark will never win an MVP in the WNBA. They will give her MVP awards. Nobody remembers like the MVP of the FIBA tournament. Look, my whole reasoning is this league is so narrow-minded. The league is so narrow-minded. Do you honestly believe in your heart of hearts if Caitlin Clark's not on the floor with the fever, Mitchell's putting up those types of numbers? Do you? Because she's not. She's not. Tina, how are you? Get those toesies in the sand. Clark will win Female Athlete of the Year before she wins the MVP. I don't even know if that's going to happen, to be quite honest with you. I mean, they might stick Cunningham on the friggin' cover of Time. Who knows? Who knows? It's just, it bothers me because I appreciate great talent. And I think a lot can be said with the talent that we have, the handful of talent in this league. You are allowed to be a great player, okay? You're allowed to be a great player. Mitchell's a great player. I've never once come on the air and said Mitchell's not a great player. But you also have to keep it in perspective. Her numbers are also generated from Caitlin Clark. She's had a great stretch. What'd she have? You know, the 20 plus over 20, whatever the hell the run was. You know, one at the top, the hub, foul line extended, dribble drive, penetration, N1. She's fouled all the time. She's a physical player. I love her game. But we're talking about the deep analytics, the metrics of what an MVP really truly is. And again, the real reason is the league will never allow it. If they allow her to win, if the media allows her to win, then it's all for naught. Everything they've said, then you realize it's all prejudice, it's all racist, it's all bias, it's all agenda driven. They're not going to backtrack from that now. That is my whole point. It's my whole crux of the argument. We can debate the merits. We can talk about, again, all these conversations, all these numbers. Wilson's the MVP right now. Chill out. If you look at the metrics, odds-wise, there's nothing to freaking chill out. Are you watching the freaking games? Let me pull your head back up there. You watching? You want to talk about advanced metrics? You want to have that argument? You'll get destroyed in that argument by me right now. Period. Won't even be a debate. She's got 628 points this season. You take away 161 free throws, that's 467 points from the floor. You know how many times she's assisted on roughly 170 of those points? That means 297 came unassisted. That's friggin' 63 friggin' percent. That's absurd. And you want to throw Wilson, who's going to win it. We know that, but it doesn't necessarily mean she deserves it. So friggin' chill out yourself with the nonsense. And you're going to try to tell me that these other players are more credible, more efficient than Clark? Nah, you know what? I've ripped her. I've criticized her. I've gotten on her, but I'm not doing it today, man. I'm not doing it. I'm telling you exactly why she should win, but why she won't. Because if the league admits she's the face of the league, then what do? The whole friggin' league comes crashing down, comes burning down. Do you understand? They have gone out of their way. It's not about who's going to win it. Don't get it twisted. Follow along today. It's not about feelings. It's not about opinions. It's not about stats. It's not about facts. It's about reality. And the reality is this. If she wins the award, then basically the league is saying all this time there was a direct bias, direct prejudice, direct agenda by the media, the networks, the personalities, the talking heads, and the league itself against this kid. They will never do it. If they do it, they've opened up a bigger Pandora's box. That's my point. And you can't argue, by the way, who's the better scorer, rebounder, or defender. So when Boston sits there and says valuable to the team based on what? If you look at the numbers as a whole, you know, since the All-Star break, Caitlin Clark is putting up roughly 45 points plus assists per game. And you want to throw other players at me? Nah. Go argue somewhere else. She's not winning it because if she wins it, the league realizes, oh, we are exposed. It's the dirty secret that nobody wants to discuss, nobody wants to debate, nobody wants to talk about. You're going to have to wait years for this kid to have an opportunity to win the award. You're going to have to flesh out all the toxicity. You're going to have to change the culture. You're going to have to bring in a new commissioner. You're going to have to get rid of some of these older players that have a vendetta. You got to fix the officiating. None of that's happening overnight. You can sit there and say, maybe it's Wilson fatigue. Okay, she's going to win it. She's played great. She plays a dominant position on one of the best teams in the league. She's a Hall of Fame player. So you acknowledge her greatness. So it's not about who's winning it. It's about why Caitlin Clark will never win it. I mean, it's ridiculous how you guys just gloss over some, you know, and again, explain to me when you're talking about, I've never seen a rookie season from Miles. Really? You want me to pull up numbers? Because for the stat geeks out there that love to talk numbers, let's see. Miles, 20 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 1.4 steals. Caitlin Clark, 21, 8, 5, 1.5. You want to talk about efficiency? Oh, by the way, that was her rookie season. You guys crunch the numbers the way you want to crunch them. I'm fine with that, and I appreciate it. You crunch the numbers the way you want to crunch the numbers. You can push numbers. It's like these networks every other night. He's the fastest player to 50 home runs and 50 doubles. He's the fastest player to 5 doubles, 5 triples, 6. I mean, you can throw out, we can dissect numbers. We can manipulate the numbers, the stats, all we want. The whole point today is not who's going to win it. It's why she won't win it. That is the whole point. We know 95%, 98% it's going to be Wilson. The odds say it. The market says it. Okay? The numbers suggest it. But there's absolutely no reason she should not get any shine. She should be in the conversation. But I'm more aggravated and more fired up because the more you look at this and you really peek through the blinders and you pull back the curtain, the league will never allow it for the reasons I just gave you. Unadulterated. What's going on? My voice is shot. I had broadcast last night. I apologize, guys. I got later on tonight, too. MVP is the player that played the best over the course of the year. Has there ever been an MVP who was benched during a game and walked out, subbed out in crunch time? I mean... That's semantics, right? But I know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Steffi White have a hand in this? Yeah, of course. You realize when she plays over 29 minutes, her numbers go up to 24 points per game. What's going on, Ash? She demands the epic deal. She will be the leader of the Fever. If she doesn't, then she's just another player. The more I think about it, again, I would have loved to have this conversation next year. Because it's not working. Donnie chimes in, nobody knew Mitchell was until Clark showed up. Mitchell was a good player if you followed the league. I'm not going to, she was a good player. She was a good player, but she doesn't put up these numbers. You realize everyone talks about the hub. You got to be the hub in basketball. People, toss around. Yeah, let me get at the top of the key. Let me think if I'm going to put it on the floor, shoot, penetrate, get a player involved. She does all that. She's guarded a certain way. She is guarded a certain way that other players in this league are not guarded. So again, I'm not picking apart Mitchell. I'm not. Great player. Great player. But if you're really saying MVP in the league is trying to understand or define the most valuable, if we're talking about on the floor and off the floor, hands down, it is Caitlin Clark. Hands down. And I said, the narrative. You've got Boston now. You've got Mitchell, who we know is alpha, wants hers. You got the head coach. You got the front office. They have accepted. We are going to cram it down your throat. It's got to be KM. And it's pretty much been crammed down our throat and fully accepted, what some have not realized, but we already understand. They won't allow Caitlin Clark to be bigger than the team, the franchise, the game. The league will not allow it. But the smart thing, the prudent thing to do is to accept it, understand reality, build around it, and you're going to win championships. They want to do the opposite. It's like when you're talking about offenses in the NFL. You know what? You can have a great ground game and you can have a great quarterback. But if your left tackle sucks, your quarterback's going to be on his ass. You got to build from the outside and work the ball in. You got to build that line in the trenches from the outside and in. They won't do it. Batman always needs Robin. Jordan need a Pippen. Batman always needs a Robin. And you can have two Batmans too. But I'm giving you the reasons why I believe she'll never win it. Not why she should. I'm countering, but what I'm telling you is the real reasons she does not fit the narrative of the league. And this coach has more power than we think. You don't need the WNBA. Clark overall performance, team record, impact on winning will exclude her from MVP. So she's been a catalyst offensively, okay? They are winning. They had a nice little run, and she's doing it knowing that she plays with another alpha female, and the head coach has sabotaged her minutes. So, again, MVP to me is the most valuable player. If you take them off the floor, where are you at? And like I said, it goes deeper. I need someone to just understand where I'm coming from. It goes deeper than just stats and numbers sometimes. You guys can throw stats at me, but it's also like having the presence. Like, okay, here we go. You have a great running back in there on third and short. You know why? Half the time the defense is stacking the box for fear that they're going to run the ball. So it's almost like a decoy. There's other things she's bringing to the table. But as I mentioned to you, the reasons, and I'll throw it out, I'll throw it to you guys right now. I'll throw it out and I'll ask the question. I think you guys will either say yes or no. Do you believe she will ever win the MVP award in this league? Or do you believe that it's set up where she'll never win it? I personally believe the way the league is structured and how it's viewed and covered, they will never allow her to win it. Because if they do that, if they allow her to win it, all hell breaks loose. It really does. Like, read between the lines. Read between the lines. Basketball isn't more than numbers. Alex English scored more points than any other player through the entire decade of the 80s. He was never in the MVP conversation, never once first team All-NBA. And he played in a rough era. He was a great scorer. And he played on some very good Denver teams. Just bad era for him. But I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying. KM isn't better defensively or a better facilitator than CC. Not necessarily is better scorer either, but does feed on CC's. Yeah, that's kind of, again, that's kind of been my crutch. Like, you know, when you watch basketball, there are certain players out there, their whole job is to just what? Score the basketball. Just score. I want someone that's going to put the ball on the floor, draw a double, triple team, shoot anywhere, rebound, drop off dimes. By the way, I've got numbers for that, and score. Facilitate. That's what she does. That's a value. There's a value to that. That's a valuable player, is my point. That is just my opinion. Israel Mitchell's job is to score. Her efficiency is at an all-time high as a 5'8 guard. Loves CC to death, but Kelsey is slightly better than CC in 2026 so far. Still got 11 games left. I would love, that's a great comment. Appreciate it. Love a little more context to it, though, when I gave you some of those numbers. But I know what you're saying. Both players are great players. Both can be true. That's all. Both can be true. They're great, great players. And I think, too, when you're a high-volume scorer and you've got a lot of assists, sometimes you have turnovers. And I know that's going to be a knock on Caitlin Clark. But again, it's not about, don't get it twisted. It is not about her winning it. It's about why she'll never win it. And it goes, my point is, it goes beyond stats. And you can throw plus and minus all you want. You can throw plus and minus. How many times during these games was she taken off the floor and they blew the lead? How many times was she put back on the floor and they regained the lead? Look, you can twist any number you want, but follow me. I'm not talking about why she should be. She should definitely be in the conversation. Her numbers back it up. Her offensive output, it's justified. You can keep twisting numbers and I can counter you all day long. I can counter you all day long. I posted it when you were going back and forth, Pete, when I was trying to friggin' enjoy my Cuban coffee early this morning and you were being a friggin' pain in the ass. I went back and forth with you. She's first in points created. She's first in points points per game created. She's first in points per minute. She's first in assists per game, and she's third in points per game. What more do you want? So you're going to throw out turnovers? Yeah, when you have 6 assists and 7 turnovers, obviously it's going to dick around with your plus minus. But the reason she'll never win is because the league won't allow it, is my point. That is all that's all I'm trying to say. The media will never cave. They will never, ever, ever give her her just due. They will never give her her flowers. They will never recognize she's a great player. She has now taken this league to another level. And you guys are entitled to your opinion again. The argument at the end of the day, it's not about impactful. It's not about in value. The reason I've been on for the past 35 minutes is to tell you why she'll never win an MVP, even if she's deserving of it. She'll never win an MVP because the league will not allow it. You want to sit there and say the Good Old Boys Network, the sisterhood, not looking the part, not acting the part, not playing the part, but yet I can double back and talk out of both sides of my mouth if you want and give you numbers to back up where I say, you know what? Yeah, technically, she should be in this conversation. Yeah, technically, yeah, she should. She's got 238 assists, which means that creates what? Almost 500 more friggin' points for Indiana. She's assisted Mitchell 66 times, Boston 72 times. Mitchell has assisted Clark 9 times, Boston 18. So you're going to tell me again about value? Again, Mitchell, great player. Great player. I would have loved for Boston to sit there and say co-MVP. But she wasn't going to do that. My gripe's not so much with her. My gripe is the fact that you got to rely on a panel of reporters that have already made up their mind. So we can define MVP all you want. You can define it. It's so subjective. It really is. You have to look at your roster support. You have to look at coaching, roster building. You have to look at the stats, the number, the team success, certain parallels, certain extraneous variables. Did they go on a run? Did they not go on a run? What's their defensive efficiency? Does she have to score more or does he have to score more? Like, I believe it's okay to have a razor-thin MVP conversation and debate. You know, Wilson, worthy. Miles, worthy. Not so much buckets. I'm sorry. Clark, definitely worthy. Mitchell, worthy. But I can tell you this. I believe Miles will win an MVP before Caitlin Clark does. And we already know how the league looks upon the point guard position. And we also know that a rookie has only won the MVP once. They just, again, don't really look at the guard play. Like, you're talking legit guards. But I just don't understand The media keeps doing itself the worst harm because they are saying every single night we watch these games, or again, we don't watch these games. They are pushing certain players. So follow me. Do I believe she deserves consideration? Yes. Do I believe pound for pound she's the best player in the WNBA? I'll go on record and say yes. Have I been critical of her? Absolutely. But my whole point, and I'm sorry for belaboring if you're just tuning in, my whole point is it doesn't matter if they go on a run. It doesn't matter if she averages a triple-double. It doesn't matter if she averages 25, 10, and 10 and 2 turnovers a game. She shoots 46% from beyond the arc, 63% from the floor, 85% from the free-throw line, and they go on a 13-game winning streak and score 120 and win it all. These idiots, these jackass clowns that control it will never allow it. Because if they do, if they vote for her, then basically everything you and I have been saying about the prejudice, about the narrative, about the agenda, about the bias against Caitlin Clark comes to fruition. It's all true, which only further proves my point why she should never step foot on a WNBA floor again and go somewhere else overseas or start her O-League. Because that's where we're going. You can talk about contracts, free agency, whatever the hell you want to talk about. I don't even know if it's different if she's on another team. Is it? If Mitchell's not on this team and Clark's got to average the bulk of the scoring and score 27 a game and 15, and I know some people hate the what-ifism, whatever the hell that is, or the pure speculation or the crystal ball. Is she MVP then? I don't think so. I know you're right. She deserves it. Won't get it. I've been saying it. Get out of Indy. Get out of Indy. Do you not get it already? This coach, this GM, this organization, they want their cake and they want to eat it too. They want to trot her out there. Why? Because they want to keep putting fannies in the seats to benefit their bottom line, their return on their investment, to help their P&L. But they're using her. She is a friggin' mercenary. That's it. She's a mercenary. And you guys want to sit there, and I see little snide remarks about TV ratings and a trophy case. You know what? There's something to be said about that. Because the best players are spotlighted. If they're not freaking highlighted or spotlighted, then that tells you what? They're not an MVP consideration? They're not an MVP candidate? You think back in the day in the 90s, NBC was not going to put the Bulls on? No. They put the Bulls on. Why? Because it was friggin' Michael Jordan. I'm telling you, some of you guys got weak-ass arguments today. You do. You've got some weak-ass arguments with the TV ratings. You're going to try to tell me otherwise. You know why this team is on so many times? Because of her. I mean, what are we doing? What kind of game we're trying to play today with this nonsense? Hence the Caitlin Clark effect. Sorry, I got news for you. Nobody's sitting there, to be quite honest with you, with all due respect, and they're going to sit there and say, man, I can't wait to go and watch number 30 play. No. It's number 22. Get over it. That's the facts. And oh, by the way, she's probable again. What else is new? What else is new? Minutes restriction be damned. I'm telling you, you guys like to push and paint your own narrative. And when you have a teammate that doesn't back you or give you a little bit of shine, the optics are bad. The optics are bad. Don't argue with me when it's factual that she creates more points than KM. That is factual. I just gave you the numbers. But I'm giving you the legit reasons why she'll never be an MVP, because you've got a league that will not allow it, and no one sees the problem with it. You guys just want to debate the merits of the MVP award. And I can't do that. I can't. You know, the one game she doesn't play, Mitchell goes off. They're both great players. but one of them is a legit facilitator of the basketball who gets guarded like no other player. Hell, when you have when Gino says it, Hall of Fame head coaches, when they say it, or Hall of Fame players, everyone subscribes to it. But then you want to get force-fed the narrative by ESPN and the McNuts of the world and all these friggin' haters out there that refuse to acknowledge what we already know. She's a generational talent. She definitely deserves to be in the conversation. Not once did I say she should win the award. What I've petitioned for and pushed for is at least have her sit at the table. But her numbers suggest she is worthy of the award. She facilitates, she rebounds for a guard. You know, the drop-off assist. I pulled up numbers with her assist, which are ridiculous. I mean, unbelievable. It was, I read it this morning. Rim assist. So you deliver by a playmaker, sets up a teammate for a high percentage shot directly at the basket. So she's at 56.7% of her assists being rim assist. I'm getting everyone involved down on the block. For context, Joker, who's one of the best in the game, led the NBA in rim assists with 4.3. She's a fantastic player, but we want to piss on her and pinpoint the turnovers. I mean, come on, man. Just stop. She deserves to be in the conversation. She deserves to sit at the head of the table when you're talking about MVP candidates. She deserves a serious look at MVP. And you can really, if you continue to break down the numbers, say she's deserving of it. But it will never happen because of the head coach, the organization, and this league and the media. That is my point, and I stand by that. Prove me wrong. Someone out there, please let me know how or why or when she'll win an MVP. Until what? Until what? Until you get rid of the commissioner? You get rid of these veteran players? You clean up the officiating? You call the game differently? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Clark getting came open. Last year was last year. That dog's not going to hunt. That dog, yesterday is yesterday, brother. No one's concerned about that. If Clark plays tonight and drops 45 and Mitchell plays and drops 18, what's the conversation tomorrow? No one cares about yesterday. That dog's not going to hunt. I don't care about last year. I'm talking about this year. I'm talking about this year, man. What do you want me to sit there and say Dennis Johnson sucked it up in 78, but you know what? Hey, how about that 79 finals? He didn't choke? No one cares about yesterday. We're talking about now, the moment, right now. These stats, up to date, current. Forget about the odds. Forget about the sharp say. Forget about what the books say. And again, it's not about who's going to win the award. I think we can all agree at 2:13 Eastern Time, or wherever the hell you're viewing in, and I love you all, by the way. I think we can all agree Wilson's going to win the MVP award. It doesn't mean she deserves it. It doesn't. But man, can we just start acknowledging why this kid's never going to win the award? And for the reasons I laid out? If this is any other player, and you can tell the guys that don't know hoops, because if you want to throw numbers at me and go advanced metrics and I counter you, and then we talk plus minus, at this point, I understand. And like I said, I know where some of you guys come from. Mitchell shows up most in the biggest games. Yeah, but you know what? You can talk about a couple weeks ago, right? And Clark had a couple of those big threes, got him back in the game, obviously had some bad turnovers. Are we throwing that? Listen, you guys all define MVP in your way, a certain way. What I believe is an MVP, you guys might believe is not an MVP. You might sit there and say, Q, I don't look at MVP the way you do. That's fine. That's fine. I'm just laying it out. I'm telling you how I look at an MVP. And if you want to throw turnover to assist ratio, then guess what? I have to throw out the advanced metrics because God knows if this panel is going to look at it. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to be cute with you. I'm not trying to come off as arrogant, and I'm not trying to be condescending, but I'll counter it right back. This is what I do. I watch, I cover, I break down. I do my research. Okay? It's okay that these players are great. But my argument, again, is why she'll never win. Somebody out there, please tell me why she will never win an MVP. Tell me, explain it to me like I'm 6 because I laid it out. Do you agree with me? The league will never allow it. If they do, it means everything they've done against this kid is legit. It's true. We've now can hold them accountable. It's a pretty simple question. That's all. I mean, that's just a misnomer. You don't watch the games. 45 and 10, what about the triple-double? What about 24 if she plays 29? And you're going to tell me Mitchell's a better defender? I mean, Jackie, get out of here with that nonsense. Come on. You don't know basketball. You just decided, let me pop on for a few and troll a little bit. You don't know basketball. You're going to tell me Mitchell's a better friggin' defender? No one had a problem when she stripped the Seattle player on the breakaway and then hit the 3. Just stop already. Goofy. You guys are goofy. Name me a great guard that plays great defense. Just stop. Try to open up a civil conversation and intelligent debate, and this is what I get. If Miles wins the ring this year, her rookie season is better than CC. Yeah, but that's not the argument. You guys, are you not following along, or are you just basically, playing as you go? It's a simple freaking question. Somebody answer it. Why won't she ever win an MVP in this league? Because of what I laid out. That's my issue. That's my problem. You're putting in the hands of people that hate her. When the MVP voting comes out, and we know it's never going to be public, do you even think she's going to get a percentage of the votes? I mean, my God, I would sacrifice. I would, just because I believe in this so much, I'd sacrifice my New York Football Giants winning 2 games if she won an MVP. Just so I can shut people up. Just so she can shut people up. But you're always going to have the jackasses out there. It doesn't matter. 21-4-9, and she wins an MVP. She still stinks. Oh, by the way, what was it? Single season record of 20-10. Now it's 9 games. Just saying. 21-12. She has nothing to do with that. Just saying. Efficiency on the floor. Just saying. Getting others involved. Just saying. Historic season. Just saying. But like I said, you guys want to pick and choose. Mitchell is a great player, deserving of this conversation as well. But Clark needs to get a little shine. And it hurts when your own teammates won't even give you that. It hurts when your head coach won't even give you that. That is a major issue. It really is. It's a major, major issue. And please, did I actually just see? Yeah, see, that is a smart... Did someone actually say Reese? I mean, Angel Reese, come on, she stinks. I watched that game the other night. What was she, another 2 of 16? She threw it off the backcourt, or threw it off the backboard, bounced around, hit the mascot in the head. I think it hit a young kid in the head. Then she grabbed the rebound. She counted that as a rebound. Get out of here with that nonsense. I mean, that might be the most logical thing you've said. They take votes away from each other. That actually, here you go. I think Jackie's probably like a Reese fan. You can tell. But this is what I'm saying. I don't know if you guys, if some of you guys just don't listen. I've never said she was the MVP. What I said is she deserves consideration. And we broke it down. But the whole argument is me telling you why she'll never win it. That's why I came on today when I wanted to talk NFL, to be quite honest with you. Because when a teammate goes on a podcast and gives you 0 love, 0 shine, that's a problem. That is a problem. That is an absolute problem. So, again, you're going to have the people that don't watch the game. You're going to have the people that just like to troll. You're going to have the haters come out. We already see the haters come out. We see it all the time. But, you got to start to questioning the Hoops IQ. You have to. Because, if you're coming with a knowledgeable take a strong opinion, we can talk about it. We can have it. Her numbers back up. They warrant her to be in this conversation. Whether she wins it or not, it's a conversation for another day. It does not matter if she does it. Okay? It doesn't matter if she puts out but see, if she puts up those numbers, then yeah, to some extent, has she not earned it? But here's the thing, and Jay, appreciate it. Here's the thing you're forgetting. I've had votes in media over the years. And some of the media that I've dealt with and I've worked with, my contemporaries, are very agenda driven. So in one breath, you're saying she has to earn it and not forced by bias, but isn't that what the media is already doing? Do you see where I'm going with this? That is, you've kind of already, you pretty much encapsulated what I'm trying to say. She's earned it, but the media won't allow it. It makes no difference what I say. Makes no difference what I say. I'm just giving you my opinion. We're just talking freely on a Friday. But I have to leave it up to the hands of voters, members of the media, and you know who they're going to be. They're going to be, the majority of them are going to be the beat reporters that haven't said one kind word about her, that are the activist pacifists, and ESPN that can't stand her. And oh, by the way, you know, this dedicated panel, according to who? So you're going to get the ballot. You're going to select 5 players. You're going to rank them 1st to 5th. Well, let's see. Forget about Stewart. So if you're going to go Mitchell, Wilson, Miles, buckets, and then you want to throw Clark in there, I guarantee you, you're going to see a lot of 5th place votes because this is what the media wants. That is my whole friggin' point. If you break it down, that is my whole point. And Wilson has won the award 4 times. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve it, but maybe in another world, a supernatural world, there's an element of Wilson fatigue like there was with Jordan when Karl Malone won it. I don't believe that's going to be the case. I don't. So you're talking about these reporters, these broadcasters that cover the league. I mean, do you trust them to be fair and objective? That is my whole point. Do you trust them to give her a fair shake, to really debate it? I don't. I really don't. I don't. I mean, my God, Chinny has a vote. McNutt has a vote. Rowe has a vote. Are you kidding me? It's already been set in stone. She's not winning. And I don't believe she's ever going to win until they really get rid of this media, these culprits. They get rid of the toxicity of these, you know, so-called journalists that are pacifist. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. MVP is a 3-person race. Anything beyond that is useless debate. Wilson, Miles, or Mitchell. So I just told you Caitlin Clark's friggin' numbers are better than Mitchell, and you won't stick Caitlin Clark in the conversation. So, I mean, I gave you Miles's numbers compared to Caitlin Clark, but we don't want to discuss that. I gave you Mitchell's numbers compared to Caitlin Clark, but you guys just hate. That's the problem where you get exposed. I'm not saying like the player, but my God, show some balls and some transparency. You guys are, at least when I'm giving you opinion, I'm trying to be fair and honest here. I've gone on the record waxing poetic about these players. I think Olivia Miles is a great player. I said 3 weeks ago, stick her in the conversation. Did I ever say she's a better player than Caitlin Clark or more impactful? No. Mitchell is a great player, but if you take Clark on the floor, is Mitchell having the type of season she's having? Or is it also a product of what Clark has been able to do? And don't give me last year, I don't care. Do you understand? Since Caitlin Clark has come into the league, Mitchell went from a very good scorer to a really great scorer. Now, all of a sudden, the best player on the team. She averaged 16 points in 2023, 18 points in 2024. Now, since Clark has arrived, her scoring has climbed to 19 points in 2025, 21 points in 2026. But that has nothing to do with number 22. Get out of here with your crock of shit nonsense on a friggin' Friday. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. She's probably helping her more, be more productive, and it's probably hurting her case. I mean, my God, show me the friggin' receipts where Mitchell's a better defender. You guys are goofballs, some of you. Seriously, you guys are goofballs, some of you, with your takes and your nonsense. Again, on the record, I don't care what Boston said. It would have been nice if she would have gave Caitlin Clark some flowers, but Boston's also the same player that refused to pull the trigger from beyond the arc. She's also the one that lost the ball twice against Gray and didn't get back on defense. So I'm not really going to take what she says on face value. She said what she said. You got the clicks, got the clout. I thought it was Bush League. I thought it was a little out of bounds. But again, you can sit there and say, I'm mad that she said no. Get a clue. The problem is this. It feeds into the narrative. It feeds into this agenda, this bias against Clark. That's all it does. It's like an endorsement of it. That is the problem, which goes back to what I said an hour ago. Another reason she will never, ever, ever, ever win an MVP. Ever. I think both these players, I think some of these players are better off in different organizations. In different organizations, I really do. Yeah, that's right. I said it. You know why I said it? I said because I'm tired of the narrative. I said the exact quote. I 100% said it because it doesn't matter what she does, what she did. I said it in tongue-in-cheek. I don't even want to have that conversation anymore. Yeah, I own up to it. I flat out said it. Did I say she's the MVP today, Pete? No, I didn't. I'm saying why she won't win it. I flat out said it. I don't even want to have the conference because I'm so tired of watching all these other shows and all these other talking heads don't even give her any type of respect or shine. So yes, I said what I friggin' said. Absolutely. And now today I'm telling you why she'll never win the MVP. I'm telling you exactly why she will never win the award, because the league won't allow it. Get over it and just admit it, and then we can move on. If they were smart, they would let her win it one friggin' time because she's earned it, and then we can move on and talk about the game. But the league is smart. They want us to keep having these conversations. They want the content. They want the views. They want the clicks. They want to do these matchups. How about the Ion poster tonight? You got buckets, and then would you have Raven Johnson on a friggin' poster? I didn't see Caitlin Clark. Again, you guys are making my case for me. And it's an easy case to make. My argument is already being made. By everyone saying she'll never win, I'm basically telling you I agree. And I'm telling you it's not about the stats and what she does on the floor. Can we debate and argue back and forth? Sure. I have to, because that makes for content. It's a give and take. But my reasoning goes deeper than basketball with how this player is viewed. It goes deeper than the game. And I don't know if it means she has to go to another team. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But it's pretty clear. It's evident by you guys commenting and by what we see on social and how the league views her, how the game is officiated against her, how the broadcast networks talk about her. She'll never win this award. So thank you for making my case. It's not about stats with Caitlin Clark. It's not. It's not. This league is not about stats when we're talking about Caitlin Clark in the MVP conversation. Caitlin Clark, MVP stats, not in the same sentence. Sorry. Wilson, Mitchell, buckets, Miles, stats, MVP, WNBA, same conversation. But when it comes to 22 and you say WNBA, you say MVP, you say Caitlin Clark, you throw stats out the window. I don't know if it's just not resonating with some of you. The argument today is who is not the MVP. The argument today isn't who is the MVP. The argument, the debate today is, or my opinion is, why the league will never allow her to win the MVP. Or I'm sorry, even if she earns it, she'll still, I have to, placate to the masses. She'll never win the award. Do we debate the merits? Do we have the conversation? Sure. Did we go back and forth? 100%. But I'm telling you, she doesn't look the part. She doesn't fit the narrative of the league. She doesn't. But nobody wants to have that conversation. Nobody wants to go down that rabbit hole. Nobody ever wants to talk about why do all these broadcasters, these networks, why do they shy away when it comes to 22? Why do they ignore 22? Why do they gloss over her highlight? Why do they always figure out a way to basically ignore her? Nice try, though. I don't lie, but you know what? You just don't listen. I literally said the other day, I'm going to say it one more time for those in the cheap seats in the mezzanine. I refused to have the conversation, take her out of the MVP conversation. And then again, it was hedged by what? Because at this point, it doesn't matter what she does. So again, today, it stems from Boston's comments, and it stems from what everyone else has been saying. Who's clearly the MVP, X, Y, and Z. Why this player doesn't get any type of support from her teammates or her head coach. So, like I said, you goofballs want to believe what you want to believe. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not going to try to placate 700-something friggin' comments and a couple different jackasses out there and a couple friggin' trolls on a friggin' Friday. Not happening. I don't think people actually understand what an MVP means. It isn't how many points you score. I mean, that's a logical, sensible take, but obviously it doesn't apply to the chat today. It doesn't. It's not always about points, but it's also about assists and rebounds. And also when you're drawing, right, double teams. When you're drawing triple teams, you are allowing other players to get open. Name me one player in this league, and I'll wait. Name me one player in this league that is defended and guarded like Caitlin Clark. And don't friggin' tell me Mitchell. Don't friggin' even try to insult my friggin' intelligence by saying Miles, who, oh, by the way, they decided to not even face guard until the second half. And don't tell me Stewart. Don't tell me Kyer. Don't tell me Buckets. Don't tell me friggin' Wilson. Name me one friggin' player in this league that is officiated the way she's officiated and guarded the way she is. And I'll wait. Because I can tell you right now, I'm going to call out your bullshit. Because if 100% don't say Caitlin Clark, and it's 5% don't watch the game or just have an agenda or a hater. No one in this league, when you have Hall of Fame players and coaches saying no one in this league is guarded the way she is, you want to take it for face value? So obviously numbers drop at times, but she still has a way to get her teammates involved in the offense and get them the basketball. Just stop with the nonsense. They're going to try their damnedest. If for some miracle she goes on this friggin' run and they keep winning games, and now the networks are forced to talk about this razor-thin debate and MVP odds, then it's going to be a fun conversation. But we know, again, right now, her odds are still long. I mean, Wilson has the shortest odds at -600. What does that tell you? She's running away with it. Miles is a rookie who you guys told me 2 weeks ago, I don't know what I'm talking about because I mentioned her in the conversation. You guys were trying to discredit me. Is right there second. Buckets is faded. Mitchell has faded. And Stewart has faded. So depending upon wherever you hang your hat, yeah, I got news for you. The odds makers basically say it's Wilson, Miles, and Clark, not Wilson, Miles, and Buckets. All your opinions are opinions, just like my opinion is my opinion. My opinion is my opinion. I don't care who wins it. I'm telling you why she won't win it. CC creates more points per game than any other player in the league. That doesn't matter. Again, that does not matter. Talking about a whole season. I'm talking about a whole season. Stop trying to give me the dribble. Stop. It's a weak-ass argument, man. It's a weak-ass argument. Just stop. Man, you guys, I just hope there's a day. I cannot wait. I really want her to win it. It'll never happen in my lifetime, but I so want her to win it. I really do. I really do. But it's never going to happen. Get rid of the commissioner, clean up the league, fix the officiating, put her in a good spot, let her shine, and you guys would still sit there and say, it's just, I'm allowed. See, here's the difference between me and a lot of you that are chatting in. I'm being objective and fair. I'm giving credit where credit is due. Wilson, dominant, phenomenal. Hall of Fame player, dominant position at the center, rim protector, rebounder, gonna win it. Mitchell, great player, deserves the conversation, also benefits from Clark. Miles, an unbelievable rookie. Buckets has had her moments. And then we talk about 22. When we get to 22, it's such a divide in the room. It's such a hot topic with you guys. Number 22. It's like part of me wants to have a show. Why do you hate her so much? But, God knows how contentious the chat would get. I'm giving you all the reasons why it does not matter what this kid does. She'll never win the award. She'll never win the award. And when you have networks that control the narrative and have a hand in the voting process and refuse to even put her up in the graphic, that is why I'm aggravated. That is why I'm pissed off. That is why I'm frustrated. And these are the same voters. So again, in what world do we live in where she has a legit, fair shot? I don't care if she wins it or not. I'm not saying she's winning it. I'm telling you why she won't. Does anyone else have a problem with that? Or have I missed the mark? Have I missed a mark? We know how the league looks at rookies. We know how the league will look at Miles. We know how the league historically has looked at true, legit point guards over the last 30 years. They don't give them shine. They don't give them love. There's maybe, it's so rare when you talk about the point guard winning in this league. It is a rare. You're talking about, again, historical reference when we talk about the perimeter MVPs, right? Now when we talk about the new crop, the Miles and the Clarks, it's only a handful of times. Moore, Cooper, right? DT, I think Catchings. They don't look at it like we view it. It's what makes for a great conversation. The guard play to me, I think, is one of the most important positions on the floor. They're the catalyst. They're the maestro. They orchestrate the offense. And all these players are different. They all have a unique skill set. All this can be true. All this can be true. We can talk about the leader, vocal, not vocal, passive, not passive, subjective, alpha, soft, whatever. I will never say Cece will never win an MVP. We don't know. I think the way this league is presently constructed, she is going to have a hard time. It's an independent panel, Trev. It's an independent panel that the league assembles. Independent national panel of, quote, prominent writers and broadcasters who claim to cover this league. So you get that chick, Roberta, who's a friggin' activist, pastivist. You think she's dropping a vote for Caitlin Clark? Or you get some of these talking heads on ESPN that had her as the 11th best guard in the league? Or Andrews or Carter or Chinny or McNuts? That's my point. It's not even fair. It's not even fair. You can earn it and still get screwed. Like, if she turns around and if she looked at differently, if she looked at different part, if she acted a different part, if, outside, off the floor, the way she lived, her lifestyle was, I don't know. But I can tell you this, as it's presently constructed, brother, she don't stand a chance. She doesn't stand a chance. You can't even enjoy it. You just can't. Mitchell has one good season in her whole about a decade in this league, and they keep trying to hold this over Clark's head. One good season in 9 years. Yeah, and by the way, who also has facilitated that offense for her? Caitlin Clark. If the media, if the broadcasters were fair and honest, and they were really calling the game objectively, you would hear her name called a lot more. But when you have members of the media sit there and say she's got to understand the sisterhood and X, Y, and Z, and well, you know, she shoots too much, you got to get Mitchell involved when we know Mitchell's a high volume shooter. Or, well, she's got to listen to coach, she can't have the tantrum. They're already painting that picture. They are. They're already painting this picture. And as I said, you guys want to argue with me all you want, and you're entitled to that. And when I said last night, or I'm sorry, a couple of days ago, I'm done with her in the conversation, it's after the fact that Boston said what she said, and then I went back and I looked at some of these past shows. I went back and I scrubbed through all these highlights of the WNBA, and we're talking about all these talking heads. And then I really started, you know, you guys were commenting, you guys were asking me, hey, can we talk about it today? And I love when you guys chat because you're my audience, and I figure, okay, I'll save the football for later on in the weekend, maybe tonight, before I do a broadcast, I'll hit it, and I wanted to have this conversation. Because it's not about if she wins it, when she wins it. It's about why she'll never win it. And it's pretty clear. And if you can't see it, I can't help you. She is the round peg, and the league is that square hole. But the media will never tell you that. The broadcasters will never talk about that. They won't bring it up. They just won't. So you guys can argue semantics with me. You can argue stats with me. You can go back and forth. You can have fun with it all. They're all great players. I'm not concerned about them. What I'm saying is this. It's already, if you're really thinking about it, everyone says the NFL's already scripted. It's like preconceived. We already know predetermined. It doesn't matter what she did this year. She was never going to win it. And I still believe she'll never win it because of how the league is just poorly run and constructed and handled and marketed and branding. And I got news for you. The goofballs that want to keep throwing stats at me, if you're really talking about value, I got news for you. She is the most valuable player because of what she brings to the table from a branding, a marketing, broadcasting, merchandise, and fannies in the seats. And at the end of the day, money walks and bullshit talks. But the league won't accept that. They've got their cash cow, they've got the golden goose, and they're basically putting it out to pasture already, which is utterly ridiculous. So you can throw stats at me, plus minus, efficiency, points per game. Every network, every day I can come on the air and tell you, oh, by the way, this player was the fastest to 6 points and 4 rebounds. Like, we can play that game all day long. That's for the rat ship. That's for Fox and all these other networks. Oh, they're the fastest player to 100 points, 100 triples, 100 doubles, 100 home runs. Oh, 286 batting average. Oh, he's the fastest pitcher, XY. Man, you can spin those numbers. I don't care. You can make them jive all you want. Every day, I can sit there and say, oh, well, she's got the most double-doubles. Oh, by the way, she's the fastest to 53 pointers and 50 free throws and 50 rebounds in WNBA history. Who the frick cares? Nobody cares. It goes past the numbers. That's it. It goes past the numbers. That is my whole friggin' point. And nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to acknowledge it. It'll never change. It almost adds to the reason that this league is so piss poor. Piss poorly run. You know, Clark improved at guard Miles instead of Mitchell. Why was Clark letting Mitchell guard Miles? I mean, that's the coach, too. They got to double up and switch. I mean, that's a fair point. And they finally made the adjustment. Remember? They did it in the second half after she had 19. You see a lot of Pete's getting attacked today and doing what he does, throwing these pointless stats. Shalom. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Finally caught you live, hot and muggy in southern Ontario. My man, Pots and okay, there we go. In Ontario, chiming in. I appreciate you. Wow. Whew. Hot and muggy. Yeah, there's been some nasty weather. I'm just gonna let you guys get on Pete. CC haters don't appear to know the real stats. Caitlin and Olivia guarding each other's no. Listen, no one's winning an award based on defense. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, we know she's a shooting guard, but if you're going to tell me the tale of the tape, I mean, Pete, what are you doing, dude? You're killing your own. Again, follow me. I just said her job is to score the basketball, but who freaking gets her the basketball? Who sets her up? She doesn't do everything by herself. Yeah, when she's adamant on dribble drive, and she is. What are you trying to tell me? Basketball 101? What do you think? I don't watch these freaking games? You're just trying to push a narrative with your crap. That's all. CC was a college game over from her second year. She was not projected to win the scoring or assist records like she did. It will come with time. First championship to MVP. I hope you're right. I don't see it happening. Maria, how are you? I think this league is set up where they just want to just keep their foot on, well, I don't want to use that expression, keep the thumb on these players. Right? And again, man, listen, we know at this time who the trolls and who the haters are. We know, and it's all good. It's all good. Because the whole point is everything that we're debating, I love it because it shows you guys are into the sport and you enjoy the league, even though we know the league is poorly run and sometimes the quality of play is really, really, really bad. But what's unique about what we do is we can all agree to disagree. But I'm throwing it out there once again. I believe the way this league is and the way this media has basically engulfed the WNBA, she will never get a fair crack, okay, at winning this award. That's all I've been trying to say for the last hour and a half. She can go out and score 45 tonight. And I know what you goofballs are going to do because you guys already trolled me. If she struggles tonight, you're going to be like, are you firing off tomorrow? I know what you guys are going to do. Yeah, are we going to talk about her 17 turnovers? I mean, part of me is almost like I want to will her to 35 and 10, and you guys are still going to piss on her because she had 6 turnovers in the fourth quarter. But she had 35 and 10 and led the comeback. Like, that's what makes it fun, the back and forth, what we do. Because it's reactionary, and it can change. It can change. Now, again, she's probable, if she plays tonight 29 minutes and scores 32 and 10, and they win, and, Buckets struggles, you going to take Buckets off the list tomorrow? I'm being fair. You're going to take her out of... See, it's all recency bias. That's all we do. It's all recency bias. That's it. So when she goes out and balls tonight, or she doesn't play, or she's minutes restriction because of her back, you guys will come on tomorrow. We'll fire off. We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about the stats. We'll talk about the outcome. And, well, she didn't play 100%. Well, she shouldn't have played if her back was tweaked. Well, why did she guard this way? Oh, Buckets had her way with her. Oh, Buckets struggled. Get her off the list. It's very reactionary. Very reactionary. And I believe the media has basically already, prior to the season, it's almost like the days, because you guys know, I call the fights, I cover boxing, I call every friggin' combat sport. But years ago, I used to do the Golden Gloves and the Silver Gloves and Nationals and call all these bouts. In the amateur rounds, in the amateur ranks in boxing, the scoring is extremely subjective. You would think a headshot and you nail the headgear, that's a good, clean, crisp shot. No. Headgear's in place, you get the standing 8. But if you go to the body, you're more inclined to win on the scorecard. I recall doing Golden Gloves in various states, and I remember before the round was over, officials were already handing in their card. And yes, trust me, I called them out on it. Point is, it's almost like predetermined. It's almost like predetermined. So I believe what's hurt her case is she plays with Mitchell, and what's hurt Mitchell's case is that she plays with Clark. If they're off the floor and in two separate teams and put up these types of numbers, makes for a much more riveting conversation. They both benefit from each other. They both can play the game, a nice little 1-2 punch. Batman, Robin, Batman A, Batman B. But I'm sure they're going to pull some votes from each other. But I believe the league already knew exactly what direction they were going to go prior to the season. That's just my opinion. It's just, that is just my opinion. And you guys can think I'm nuts. You can say it's a conspiracy theory. You know, I tried to debate it and counter it with the Wilson fatigue, but they probably knew going into the season, here's your odds-on favorite, playing for the best team, one of the best players on the floor, the dominant position, runs the floor, rim protector, rebounds, and scores inside. Here you go, Wilson. Because amateur boxing used to do the same thing. Now, apples and oranges, but they used to basically hand in the scorecard. Yeah, and I agree with you. Like, you can acknowledge, like I said, all these players. That is kind of, that's, you know, my Newman brings up a good point. You're allowed to sit there. It's not about who's better. Both of these players are exceptional talents, but I believe one of them has enhanced the other's game. It doesn't mean the other player. I've come on the air on record saying Mitchell is a force. She's a beast, man. As soon as she puts the ball on the floor and she drives the rim and she goes to the bucket and she draws the contact, I don't think there's any other player in the league that's had more and one opportunities than KM. Stop and pop, foul line extended. Love her game. Love her game. But I also believe her stats, her game is also a product of having Caitlin Clark on the floor. And if you want to sit there and counter and say, well, hold on a second, Q, Caitlin Clark's numbers go up too because she has a Mitchell on the floor, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. There's no right or wrong in this regard. The argument, the crux of it is this. She'll never win. It doesn't matter exactly, you know, what she does. It just doesn't. She doesn't look the part for the league. And that's the reality. That's a fact. And until we start to understand that, then this is where we're going to be at. I mean, you don't like the player, you don't like the player, but do me a favor, man. You know, you got a preconceived bias or agenda or prejudice against a player, then, you know, this show's not for you. It's not. The content, the channel, it's not for you. If you don't like a player because of the way they look, get out of here. But I believe the way the league treats her, I believe that has something to do with it. I do. In the same breath, in the same vein, I believe that. I believe this league looks at her and they say, you know what? She doesn't fit our mold. She doesn't fit the narrative. And that is a major, major, major problem. Why does no one criticize the drop passes by Mitchell or Boston? I mean, look, you look at the assists, sometimes they turn into turnover. I gave you those numbers, but nobody wanted to hear it. This is why I do love the chat. I mean, I'm not laughing at the comment. Won't win unless she becomes bisexual, though she'd be guaranteed if she becomes a lesbian. I mean, I'm not laughing at the comment because it's just, it makes for such an awkward conversation where there's some truth in some of these comments. You're not going to find it on another show. You're not going to find it on another channel. You're not. WNBA media picks the winner, and the WNBA media hates CC. Yep. She can go 25, 10, and 15, and it does not matter. It's sad when you think about it. It really is. I mean, you got to look the part. You got to play the part. You got to act the part. This is why, like, I think she's better off going to another league or going overseas. I've said it multiple times. Like, at what point do you just say, I love the game, I like Indiana, I like the market, I'm mid-market, I'm homegrown, or I should say, small town, and I'm just not being treated fairly. And I believe there's going to be other players to follow suit. I do, which I told you the other day. It's starting the downfall of this league as a whole. Joe D chimes in. Q, I agree with you 100%. I don't think it's all about the stats. I think you make a compelling argument for and against for Caitlin Clark. Yeah, without talking through two sides of my mouth. Today's show is not about who's winning the MVP. Today's topic and show is about why she'll never win it. And it goes beyond stats. The league looks at this, how she acts, how she talks, how she thinks, what she doesn't say, what she doesn't support, and they have an opportunity to just keep their thumb on her. That is a problem. And I cannot entrust ESPN. I cannot entrust the Monica McNutts of the world, or the Carters, or the Chinneys, or these other haters out there. I can't. They do not deserve to have a vote. I think it's because I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed. I know what I said. But again, my channel, my show, I said it. But I also gave you the reasoning. I said she's out of it. It doesn't matter what she does from here on out. So again, if you're following me correctly, and I hope you are, this show, I'm entitled to now create content or a show topic that I want to, if that's okay with you and some of the other listeners out there. After Boston said what she said, I wanted to have the conversation, and then it led me to why she'll never win the award. It's pretty simple, man. 2 and 2 is 4, brother. It's not 5, maybe in your world, but not mine. But we also know you, as I said on the chat, and as you commented offside on the video, you have an agenda. I think you called Caitlin Clark toxic and poison. I believe you did. I believe that was the phrasing you use. That's all. Wilson, Olivia Miles, Mitchell, Clark can be MVP. Wilson, what is the head of them? 3-time, 4-time. Yeah, she's done more, accomplished more. But does that mean, though, but again, it's a fair point you bring up, but doesn't it also translate into maybe Wilson fatigue? Like, the award is not for what you did in the past. Maybe a contract is. I'm paying you for what you did in the past and what I think you're going to do in the future. But because she's won in the past, it doesn't necessarily mean she's deserving of the award this year. Now, again, you'll hear what you want to hear. You'll hear what you want to hear, not you per se. But her numbers and the way she's played, certainly MVP worthy. Certainly. We see how biased the league is. They stomp Caitlin. The refs don't care. CC touches a ref, and it's a technical. The refs call fouls on her for nothing. He's probably right. Thank you. I don't know if I'm 100% right, but I'm just letting you know that the way they officiate her, the way she's viewed, the narrative, the way the league handles her, the way the broadcasts ignore her, then what happens is you guys feed into it. You watch it. It's like watching the left or the right, not down the middle. You watch this network, like I've said it so many times. POTUS is the Antichrist. You watch this network, and the POTUS is the next coming of Jesus. So you guys watch you go on highlights, you watch different shows, you see different clips. I can clip up crap all day long and push a certain agenda. I mean, I can come on the air, you give me an hour or two, I can clip up highlights, and I can literally not even twist your arm and basically have you guys sipping from the CC MVP cup. But again, it's not, like I said, that's not what I'm doing. And Michael finally says something. There you go. The league and media pushing the KM in the conversation, maybe to overshadow CC, but they're going to allow it either way. Yes, that is the point. It's as though you've got all-time great quarterbacks, and yet, we're not even going to mention Peyton Manning up there, or Tom Brady, or Patrick Mahomes, just because we don't like them. We want to gloss over them, or because we believe it's not their time. That's not being objective. It's not being objective. It's not. That's the problem. That is a problem. Reese blocks shots she gets are counted as rebounds as well. Correct. Man, you guys are real. I see 2 or 3 are really annoyed that I actually mentioned the MVP conversation today. And it shows the selective hearing. Like, I actually feel bad. I do. I feel bad that some of you just are listening, hearing what you want to hear. I've been on for an hour and a half. Nowhere out of my mouth today have the words, she is the MVP. What has come out of my mouth religiously is, she'll never win because. And we've given you the reasons. If you put Mitchell on that tempo team, it would be the same result as Manry, a scorer who doesn't elevate anyone. Well, I mean, again, that goes to your definition of MVP. I like when you see, this is, I like it. The guys are coming out right now. Talking about MVP. We're talking about what the media is saying. We already know what the odds suggest. She already surpassed buckets. So now technically is 3-team. But because you have fever players, their head coach, and certain broadcasters want to keep pushing Mitchell, then all of a sudden, she'll start to jettison. You watch the game tonight. Watch the game tonight. I am curious if they throw a graphic of the MVP conversation. And if they have 5 players, who would those 5 players be? And maybe they throw Clark up there. I don't know. Maybe they bill it as a battle of MVP contenders. So if they come on, and we call it the cold opening in the business. So we scene set it for you inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, Indianapolis, Indiana. This is WNBA on Iron, the Wings and the Fever. It's a battle of MVP candidates. If they have Mitchell and buckets, my case, I rest it. I rest it. And then we move on until tomorrow when you guys are going to want something else to bitch, moan, and complain about. Is Pete cooking in the chat? I don't know that. What's he cooking? Is he cooking? I don't know. Is Pete? I mean, he hasn't gotten blocked. That's good. Hey, if Pete's making good points today, let him. BB, go ahead. A lot of people think Clark's numbers are that good because of Mitchell. 2 things can be true. Absolutely. Batman, Robin, sure. It's in the eye of the beholder. It's in the eye of the beholder. Would the fan vote be safer? No. Not at all. And thank you. Thank you. I mean, I am entitled to kind of, change my mind, but I appreciate that. Thank you. But, Pete's like a friggin' dog on a bone. Pete knows if it was like a one-on-one debate, he'd have to throw in the towel. I think we've already established that yesterday. Would the fan vote be safe? No. No. Absolutely not. The fan vote? No. Felipe, CC win an MVP is uphill battle, too many agendas. Yep, because now you admit the league sucks. Pete, I don't know. Are you just literally going to just constantly waste the chat's time today with this nonsense? No cop-out. You just don't like what I'm saying. I told you, you guys always like to try to play the I gotcha. Not going to happen. But you keep tuning in. CC needs White to keep quiet to win. Joe D chimes in. Q, I can't believe you actually still allow some of these goofballs to... Hey, it's a free country, man. Oh, Independent. I saw it for the 3rd time. Yes, I saw it. Does not matter. Wilson can score 100 points in a game. CC is going to remain the face of the league because of the organic story. To get to the WNBA, it's like watching a movie. CC battling demons. If she really was the face of the league, though, and she played up to that level, then wouldn't we then kind of say that's an MVP level, right? So, I don't know. 45 and 10, triple doubles, double doubles, but I'm not pushing for her for MVP. I'm pushing why she's not going to be the MVP. That's all. Robbie D on X chimes in. Q, I can't believe you still actually entertain some of these fools. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Zay chimes in. Agree the WNBA is corrupted. 100%. They will eventually, but no time soon. It's beyond corrupted. Pete still, I don't know, is Pete having a little hot toddy today? Jay Hoover, no one is saying she will never win. Just stop desperately trying to force it this year. What are you talking about? You're a goofball. Get out of here. Go away on a friggin' Friday. Raven Johnson, ha ha ha, horrible pick. Barely even gets playing time over Harris. Remember when she was coming off the bench? I actually had people in the chat saying that, you know what, she should get more minutes. What does that tell you? Mike in Ohio chimes in. Q, you can spot the racist in the chats a mile away. I can, and that's why we don't even give them any airtime anymore. We know who you are. Martina, CC won't win because she's not an activist. The old guard is pissed that CC won't use her platform for their BS agendas. They thought she was going to be one of those players, but she's only about basketball. That is an absolute sound take. Thank you. You actually listened. Shout out to you on a Friday. Best chat, best comment today. Yep. That's all I was asking. Why she won't win it. That's it. But, you know, you always turn around and you get some of these goofballs in there that maybe they had a little hot toddy. Maybe you had a little fresh roasted coffee. Why do you think they dislike her so much? Genuine question. I think they dislike her because she's famous. I think they dislike her because she elevated the game. I think they dislike her because she has the branding, the commercials, the marketability. I think they dislike her because before her, ratings sucked, attendance was down. I think they dislike her because she happens to be a white, straight, great player. And the league doesn't want that. So if that offends people, like I said, maybe the channel's not for you or my show's not for you. But Zay, I'm trying to give you an honest, objective, fair answer. And probably why, you know, someone commented the other day, they need to stick you on some of these outlets. Yeah, that would never happen. Because I would call them out and challenge them. I mean, there's certain things you can say unpleased and you can get away with it. And what I just said wasn't outlandish. It's the facts. She doesn't look the part. She doesn't act the part. She doesn't play the part. She doesn't sound the part. And I think to the last commenter's comment, which was extremely astute and dead on, she doesn't placate. She doesn't dance to their music. She basically dances to the beat of her own drum. She's not going to get up there and take sides, but she's also not going to condone hate. She's going to call out the officials. And she also took a couple shots at her head coach when they were talking about the minutes restriction. The old guard can't stand her because she's plain Jane. They have a problem with it. They can't stand her. She is the definition of plain Jane. She's not going to wow you. She's not going to blow you away. She's not going on a runway. She's not. She's like the all-American plain Jane girl with the smile and the nice upbringing and, oh, by the way, can friggin' play the game of basketball. They don't want that. Now, do businesses want that? Do sponsors want that? Do the networks want that? I think to some extent, to answer your question. But that is what I truly, honestly believe. And as I said, if it's too sensitive to the masses, I don't really give a shit. Because it needs to be talked about more, but they're not going to talk about it on the networks. I mean, if you're on one of these networks and you need to challenge, but they won't do that. They'll spin it, they'll bring it back to another topic, they'll throw up an isolated graphic, or they'll go to friggin' commercial. They just don't have any stones or any balls. But when you put a Stacey Dales on there and she checks people, then it's a different story. Haven't seen her back doing any of those hits, have you? It's a major, major problem. Major. It is a major problem. But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to acknowledge it. They just don't. They don't want to acknowledge it. The owners don't want to acknowledge it. The GMs don't want to acknowledge it. And even these head coaches don't want to acknowledge it. That's why I think Stephanie White has more clout than we give her a credit for. I really do. It's not a league. It's a social media experiment. It's an activist league. It's the velvet rope. When it gets back to basketball, and if these games were actually officiated the right way, if they were broadcast the right way, if they were covered the right way for the sport, if we were solely covering the sport for the sport of basketball, talking about the game itself, and get rid of all the activists, the pacifists, the gay, black, white, straight, all that, the inclusion, the trans, all that crap, all that nonsense. You got rid of, you flushed it down the toilet, and you had 25 members of the media covering these teams religiously and talking heads that were just talking purely X's and O's. I got news for you. she'd probably be right there when we're talking about the MVP. And the perception, the narrative, the optics regarding Caitlin Clark would be vastly different. And you guys would then maybe change your tune. But you guys get sucked in to the cesspool that is some of these networks, and you actually believe the dribble that they're spewing. So you asked me a question, I gave you an honest answer. She's plain Jane, and the league doesn't want that. They don't. They don't. They don't want plain Jane. They don't want the aw shucks. They don't. They want the shit stir. They want someone that's going to stand out there and, sprout out, stick their chest out, scream at the mountaintop. That's not who she is. She just wants to play friggin' basketball. It's another reason the league, she'll never win the MVP. Ever. Ever. And that is it stinks. It sucks. It does. She'll be fine. She'll get her 8 hours sleep. She's making her millions. But I'll tell you right now, when she takes her ball and leaves this league, it's not going to be today, not going to be tomorrow, but it's going to happen. Mark says, I think CeCe deserves it. I'd be happy with co-MVP. I don't even think that's going to happen. Yeah, I saw that with the BlackRock too. Her net worth, Caitlin Clark has a pretty damn good net worth. And think about what, again, we're not talking X's and O's. Off the court, off the floor. Chris says, there you go, hands down MVP in a normal league. Chris, we don't have normal people sometimes on the chat all the time, my friend. Oh, man. That's funny. I don't even know. I got 700 chats in here. I can't get all of them. To win the MVP, you should be efficient and play on both ends. I don't think that Mitchell or CeCe should be up for MVP. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Jeff chimes in. He's fired up on his Mystics. There you go. I think he might be the lone Mystic fan on the chat. You guys some of you try your hardest to do the gotcha. And like I said, I can go down that rabbit hole and I can come out just clean as a whistle. By the way, Jeff, Mystics laying, 5.5 tomorrow night? Might have to grab that number. I don't like the hook, though. I don't like the hook. Win the MVP, got through that one. Never been anyone guarded like Clark. Clark plays better defense than Miles. Paige definitely faded out, but P keeps glazing off her. P glazes off a lot of things. I think we kind of know that by now. If Clark was 30 points, 15 assists, she would not win. Thank you, James. Doesn't matter what she does. It does not matter what she does. The whole point. The whole point. It doesn't matter what she does. Okay? I actually brought up Miles 3 weeks ago, and you guys were like, a rookie will never win. And I told you, some of you guys brought up the point, her numbers are probably going to dip a little bit when Collier comes back. She's a phenomenal player. She's got the rookie of the year in the bag. Like I said, not even Pete can say any players guarded like CeCe. Pete, we know he's a troll. Come on, he's a hater. We already know that. WNBA discussion trash. I tend to concur. What's the purpose of the W? It's never been about basketball. Nope. It's never been. Jay Lee, first time. Appreciate you. Caitlin Clark being handcuffed by her teammates, the league, and the Indiana Fever ownership and coaching staff. Clark is going through what Jackie Stiles went through. Interesting. Yeah. I don't like this head coach. I think she's a very divisive figure. I said yesterday, I don't care if they win a championship, and you can troll me all you want. She needs to friggin' go. She's divisive. She's toxic. She is everything wrong with the WNBA. What her beliefs are, the way she sat up there pouncing, again, on the table, right? Talking about love's going to win, character, morals. She's none of that. Humility, humanity. She's none of that. She must have an extremely amount of clout within this league to get away with what she gets away with. I really believe that. That's why some of these players, I mean, I really wish her rookie deal was up, because I would say friggin' walk. Forget about Epic. Walk. Because they're not going to put their money where their mouth is. They're just not. Yep, James, she had an off night the other night. Yep. Do not believe the networks who make money from this and the advertisers won't push for CC to win. No, they won't. No. They're doing the complete opposite. They don't want her to win. The networks don't want her to win. The league doesn't want her to win, because if she wins, it justifies, it validates everything we've been saying when it comes to being pro-against. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's a total contradiction. They won't celebrate it. They'll debate it. They won't celebrate it. They didn't even have her on the 30th anniversary poster. I don't think they had Lobo. I don't think they had Deladon. Do you not see where I'm going with this? This league it's not inclusive. It's divisive. It's toxic. In the offseason, forget about your last deal, rookie deal. Forget about it. Go somewhere else and play, man. Force a friggin' trade. Get the hell out of Indiana. This GM is clueless. The ownership backs the GM. The GM backs the head coach. Doesn't make sense. Your coach does not support you. Your coach defends players that she coached up to go out and physically hurt other players, i.e. Thomas, i.e. Carrington, who, oh, by the way, still hasn't gotten suspended, will not be suspended, and threw out the 823 threat that I think Michael brought up a couple times, who was the first one to bring it up. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to keep allowing the nonsense to go. So again, to come full circle, like I've said, like I've always maintained, flush out the dirtiness of the league. Flesh it out. Get rid of every official, retrain, rehire. The commissioner's not going to resign. Adam Silver's not going to push for that. Bring in someone from the NBA. Bring in a branding and marketing expert. Tell these veteran players that have been in the league for 10, 11, 12 years, your time is coming to an end. Knock off the bullshit. Go through the CBA. Hire high-priced attorneys and put a certain clause in the contracts about language. Moral clauses where you can't go on social media and you can't friggin' tweet right after you got ejected, white privilege. They won't do any of that kind of stuff. They won't. They just won't. They want Olivia Miles' rookie year to be better. Correct, and it's not. That's what they push. Everyone can take stats and manipulate and skew them. They can. James, they can. Everyone does it. Everyone does it. You can throw out when she doesn't play, when she's on the floor. The other day, and a lot of people never comment when I made this comment, she plays 29 minutes. If she plays more than 29 minutes, her averages goes up to 24, 25 points. But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody does. All you guys want to do is push, or push back, or, try to be a little cute, and then you get checked and you get called out. These are the facts. Plain Jane is never going to win the MVP, because that's not what the league is. It's not Plain Jane. The league, back in the day, remember that great movie, White Man Can't Jump, with Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes, and Woody would sit there and he would turn around, Sydney, right? Sit there and say, you'd rather look great than play great, right? It's like sauce sizzle, no substance. That's what they want. That's what they push. All the highlights are trash talking. It's not fundamentally sound basketball. Let's go see Carrington rake another player across the eyes, pull somebody else's hair. Let's see Angel Reese throw the ball off the mascot, hits the backboard, hits the mezzanine, hits a kid, and then she grabs the rebound, and you count it as a double-double. Come on. Just stop. It's ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Absolutely getting worse. No excuses, man. Just facts. No excuses. You just don't like what I have to say. No excuses. I came on and I ripped her when she had the turnovers. I came on, you can check the channel, weeks ago when I literally said she's a ticking time bomb. You guys got at me, some of you Fever fans, because you said I had to actually root for her and cheer for her. I'm a fan of hers, but I don't need to root for her. My day is going to go on if she struggles. My day is going to go on if she plays well. I literally said she needs to mature. She has to mature. She was like a ticking time bomb, and then she goes off for 45 and 10. I've been critical of Caitlin Clark. I think a lot of players in this league are very immature. Very, very, very immature. They need to mature. They need to grow up. It's not about them. It's not about me. But if we're being fair and if we're being honest, if you talk about this league, if you take her out of the league, you lose a ton. You lose money, you lose resources, you lose broadcasting deals, CBA. Oh, by the way, without her, the salaries don't go up. Look, I told you, half of you guys already got exposed. We know exactly why you don't like Caitlin Clark. Because of what I said. Because she's plain white Jane. You don't like it. She's middle America. You don't like her. That's fine. So you piss on her game. That's fine. You get exposed. It's not a problem. It's your opinion. We move on. But this is the league. The way you think, this is how the league thinks. And you can't tell me anything different. You can't. You can't. So you guys can come, like I said, waste time. You've hung for 2 hours. I greatly appreciate it. But we know your agenda and we know the narrative you're trying to push. That's all. You guys want stats. I throw stats every day at you. Like I said, for those that are new to the channel, I cover games, I call them stateside, I call them overseas. I've been doing it for years. I know basketball. I'm sorry if my stats or my opinion doesn't fit your line of thinking. And if you want to pull my hoops card, go ahead. I'll be okay, trust me. No worries. I'll be fine. By the way, today's show is powered by our good friends over at Hoops BI for all you overseas enthusiasts. Check them out, Hoops BI. So yeah, I know what I'm talking about. We don't always have to agree. You guys bring unique opinions to the table. But this channel, what I do, my show, my podcast, my radio show, I say it every day. We try to speak truths. And the league will never allow her to win because she's plain Jane. She's not an activist. She's not braggadocious. She's not vocal. She doesn't beat her chest. She doesn't go on social media. She doesn't call out the refs. She doesn't say black privilege, white privilege. She doesn't call out people. She just goes and plays basketball. The league doesn't want that. They don't. They want someone to be outspoken. That's what they want. Have a little sizzle. It's not who she is. That's all. That's not who she is. You know, Sophie said what she said. Paige said what she said. Wilson has said what she said in the past. She gets all these whistles. Miles, everyone got on Miles because, you know, they asked her during that game, you know, what's it like to guard Caitlin Clark? She's like, we're not concerned about her. Well, and she was 100% correct because Mitchell had 19 in the first half. Wilson's going to win it because she plays a dominant position. She's a Hall of Fame player. She plays both ends of the floor. She scores in the paint. She's a rim protector. She gets rebounds, and she gets blocks. And she's playing on a hell of a team. She's a dominant center. She's going to win it. The league frowns upon the guard play. You've only had a handful of guards who have won it. And now you've got these guards that we're talking about. They're going to pull votes. But as I said 2 hours ago, the whole crux of the show is why she'll never win it. And I think we've laid it out. I think we've laid exactly why she will never, ever win it. Gen X, appreciate you, brother. Here late, CC and Sophie sit 823, second night of back-to-back. Let the mustard smack Boston. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. A Friday shout-out. Thank you, brother. Edge team also has 3 recently. I don't know what that is. Yeah, 823 is going to be funny. How are they going to get out of this one? How are you going to get out of that one? Pete got blocked. Pete says, Dave, you have blocked me, but I see you. I have destroyed you over 20 times on courtside. What do you guys argue? Do you guys actually argue on other stuff? On the chats? Winning matters. Stats are secondary. Okay, well then guess what? Then get rid of Mitchell. When you sit there and say the Clarkies, then get rid of Mitchell because now we're throwing stats out. Okay. You're going to give me 4-0, 2-1 without her? You guys are goofballs, man. You guys are goofballs. Everyone clearly defines MVP differently. That's all. Everyone clearly defines it differently. And it's pretty clear. Some of you guys just don't like her, and that's okay. We know who you are. You've been exposed. Pete always has the stats. Yeah, he was on fire today. I mean, I had to shut him down on the side after I was drinking my coffee. Can't afford to sit anyone. Standings are too close. Yeah, no, they got to play it out. 100%. They definitely have to play it out. Trev, shout out on you on a Friday because you've come with some good chats. ESPN cherry picking stats to make Miles better than the MVP. Yeah. I learned that when you talk hoops and you talk about this kind of stuff, she is such a hot topic, which also tells you something else. That she is the league, because you guys wouldn't be so gung-ho goofy if she wasn't. She's the league. But when you talk about these conversations, man, it just shows you. It shows you that if you have an off night, like, this is the one thing I'll say that I do enjoy when it comes to the MVP conversation, especially in the NFL. If you got quarterbacks in week 10, 11, 12, and they're meeting, right? It's quarterback versus quarterback, and who's going to outperform. You can see the odds get swayed big time. So bookmark it right now, 323 on the East Coast. They play tonight, the Wings and the Fever. And if you guys want to hold, because I know some of you goofballs, you basically hang on every friggin' word I say. So if she plays tonight, and I haven't checked, on the team site, I think right now they still have her as probable, which I believe she's going to play. There will be no excuses tomorrow if she struggles. None. But I will ask this. If we fire off tomorrow and mix in a little NFL, I will ask this of you. If she has a triple-double, if she does the 25 and 10 and they win and she outplays Paige, are you going to come on tomorrow? And if she plays piss poor, trust me, I'm going to be on the air anyway. And we'll talk about it. And I'll criticize her and rip her like I did when she blew the game a week ago. And you guys were sensitive about it. I thought you were a fan. I'm a fan, but I'm being objective. She had to put the ball on the floor and go right by Wilson. She didn't. Mitchell didn't flash. Mitchell didn't go in the corner, and she tried to get the ball into Mitchell. That's on Caitlin Clark. Miles is nowhere the MVP. Nice sentiment, but Caitlin, Mr. Soul. Caitlin, better stats than Paige than freshman year they shared. Paige is a good player, but I don't think she's an MVP. That's all. I don't think she's an MVP. And I think they're not going to give a rookie the MVP award. And remember, too, she carried that team when Collier was out. She carried that team. Basketball is a team sport. Miles winning a chip this year does not mean anything. All right. It is about championships. We know that. No, Paige is not an MVP. Correct. Clark is in a bad spot. Correct. Yeah, call him out, Newman. Call him out, please. Check him. Check him at the front door. Check him. CC needs to just go focus on scoring. That's all people on WNBA media care about. Just be a little more selfish. She would average 30 and 8. I would stop passing so much for players that can't catch. But then, you know what's going to happen? Because, again, this is what happens with the media and the trolls and the reporters. She's selfish. She's not trying to get people involved. She's not a true, legit point guard. I mean, you can't win. You can't win. You guys are good on a Friday. Clark going through all the drama and she still managed to score season high 21 is pretty impressive. Correct. With a bad back and minutes restrictions. Correct. I love when you guys jump on each other in a funny, respectful fashion. You're correct. Playing Clark and Mitchell will take votes from each other. I don't know why people get so bad out of shape. I don't know if you guys are listening closely, but that's okay. What do we got here? Let's close it out. Caitlin's numbers in Iowa were high in part because of Marshall and Caitlin on the floor with CC. She was phenomenal in college. Not sure this makes sense. Let me see. Newman, can't do it, brother. Never will. I won't. I tried to tell these guys, to be honest, right, that when you've been doing this for a minute like I have, you know, the ones that try to play the I gotcha, the line kind of wraps around the block, you know. But the one thing is I do try to do differently with the chat is allow the free reign. That's all. People forgetting Wilson is still the reigning MVP, right? I mean, but now do you start to say the fatigue, right? The fatigue. Overseas is more physical. You're just, come on, Pete. Pete, man. Pete, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, Pete. I really hope these other, I think I told you guys this the other day. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. I said this the other day. So the show, because I also do the radio, and I got the audio version, we are trying to work out setting up phone lines for a couple platforms. I can tell you right now, and I'm not even going to call them out. I'm not even going to call them out. But we will have to figure out a way, or I will have to really I think I'll get hooked up with a producer to moderate, right? But I am actually fired up if we can take calls. Because I'm telling you, I am going to make some of you run home to mama. I am telling you right now, for those that listen to me on the air for years with the Fox Sports and the 1290 and the 97.3 and 1450 and all this day, I am telling you right now, if we can take calls, and we're working out a couple of deals with a couple other platforms, and we start to encourage you guys to dial in, and we go back and forth, some of you cats are going to run home to mama. And you know who you are. And we are chomping at the bit. Oh, unbride it. You're funny. You're funny. You are funny. You guys are funny, man. Oh, man. Jay Hoover, what are you saying? Winning is also dog doo-doo? I mean, who loves a winner, right? We love winners. Everyone loves a winner, right? Rich, I love me some... Pete, I'm telling you right now, brother. Tail between the leagues. The original concept MVP was the one player in the league that lifted their team up the most in the air of a goat under every rug. Now it's some best in the league bullshit. Yes. Everyone defines it differently. Everyone defines it differently. That's what makes a conversation beauty, and it's fun. But like I said, the reason we talked today was for me to basically say, she's never going to win the MVP. Playoffs will determine who the MVP is. To me, no more softy, no more excuses, game time, period. Yeah, but, I mean, regular season awards. That's the one thing I've always mentioned, too. You can be a regular season quarterback and then thrive in the postseason and then win a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl MVP. Does that make you the MVP of the league? You guys are going. I'll tell you what. On a Friday, whew, Stay chimes in. All right. I don't agree that CeCe should be in the MVP convo. I do think she deserves a mention, as do Mitchell, but it's something to be said about the fact that Kelsey is more consistent. I think that's a fair point. I think you bring up a fair point. I do. You know, Mitchell had that great run. What was it? 13, 4. How many games was she scoring? Over 20-something odd points? I mean, listen, she's been in the league a long time. And if you really haven't watched this league or watched her over the years, I mean, she might be that, you know, she went from 12 to 16 to 17, but now she's a legit scorer. Some players peak very late or at certain points in their career. She's 30, and I'm not going to sit there and say maybe this is the moment, but it seems to be she's peaking, but it also helps that you have 22 on the floor. But to your point, you're right. There are moments in the game. There are moments in the game where she does have spurts where she takes over. She is a high volume scorer. She is not going to be the one that's dropping 10, 11, 12 assists. She's not. She's going to be the one that wants to maybe get out on that fast break and then look for Clark to try to find her. She's going to be that 23, 4, and 3, 25, 6, and 2. That's the type of player she is. And maybe if you haven't watched this team over the years or the league, I'm not saying you per se, but just the novices out there didn't know that she's a damn good player. But I also believe her game's been elevated because of Caitlin Clark. And yeah, I think Caitlin Clark's numbers and her game's been elevated because she has another threat offensively on the floor in Mitchell. I love Mitchell's game. She is so decisive. I've never, I shouldn't say I'd never, but over the last 5, 6, 7 years, she is such a physical player when she puts the ball on the floor and she drives with intent. That's one of the things I just ad nauseum. I want Caitlin Clark to mature as a player. Caitlin Clark is always trying to, welcome the contact. No, play through it. Go to the basket. That's when you're going to get the call. That's what Mitchell does. Mitchell plays so smart that it's almost as though subconsciously she's inviting the contact. Once the contact comes, she knows. That's why she has a ton of N1 plays. Yeah, please don't walk away saying I don't think Mitchell's a great player. She's a phenomenal player. All these players are worthy of discussion. But as I said, she'll never win because Caitlin Clark, my opinion, will never win the award because it's an agenda-driven league. I agree, there is an agenda, I agree. But as far as just hoops, do you think she is the MVP this year? No, I don't. Not right now, I don't. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. I can put her in the conversation. She can sit at the table. She deserves the right to be in the conversation, okay? But I believe her coach, if her coach would have allowed her to play her style of game early on this year and at certain spots, and she wasn't dealing with the minutes restrictions, then her average goes up exponentially, Pete. Then, yes, my point changes. Then she's averaging 25 plus. But because she's third in the league and first in everything else, and yeah, turnovers are part of the game, I look at her impact, I would say yeah. I look at what she does offensively, I would say yeah. I think the turnovers hurt her. I think the narrative of her being a defensive liability hurts her. And I also believe the league, you're asking me my honest opinion, so I'm giving it to you so you can hold me to it. I believe the league has a bias against her, which already made her pretty much in handcuffs. And they look at the center position as a dominant position and not the guard position as that dominant position on the floor. You have to win, you need a center. That's how I believe they view the MVP. So it's going to go to Wilson based on her track record, even though she shouldn't get the award based on what she did. She should get the award based on what she's doing this year. So if you ask me who's been the most dominant player in the league, I will say Wilson. If you ask me who's been the most efficient player in the league, I would say Clark. If you ask me who's been the most consistent scorer in the league, I would say Mitchell. Is that fair for everyone? I mean, is that okay? Can we live with that? The award's going to go to the center. It's going to go to Wilson. Again, I don't want to just keep repeating myself to bore people, but my argument, my topic, the whole show today was why she'll never win it. And I'm not pushing back the goalpost. I just told you exactly. You asked me. It's on record. Wilson wins it. Dominant. Clark, I believe, has been the most efficient, the most consistent scorer offensively. I believe it's been Mitchell. And Miles is right there. She's going to bag Rookie of the Year. Like, that's it. Paige is kind of, Stewart has kind of, Collier's been hurt all year. So it's like a 2-3. That's exactly how I see it. I think this coach screwed her. This is not an excuse. It's not whining, crying. I think this coach effed her with the minutes. She pulled her at certain times. She could have had her in there. You know, Mitchell pads stats too. Mitchell has had some opportunities where Clark's on the bench and the game's out of hand and she's padding some stats. Now, I'm not going to fault Mitchell for that, but that's the relationship the head coach has with the player. She doesn't have that conversation with, relationship with Caitlin Clark. So hopefully that answered your question. Hopefully that answered your question. Caitlin Clark is a great, great player. She is a great player, okay? Miles is a fantastic rookie. That kid will win one day. Love her game. She's fearless. She goes to the rack. I mean, she goes in overdrive. She's got a second gear. Love this kid's game. Love this kid's game. But I look at, if you're saying MVP, are we taking on the floor, numbers, stats, winning, game changing, and then off of the floor, what you're bringing to the table? To me, there's value in that. That's not the way the world works. That's not how sports works. Sports doesn't care what you're bringing to the table financially. They only can care about winning, stats, and that's it. Consistency. Now, who's been the most consistent, dominant scorer this season? It goes to the center. It goes to the center. It goes to Wilson. She's going to win the award. So I don't know. Hopefully that kind of, answers your question. But again, the whole argument is why she'll never win it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And the league is frowning upon it. It does. The league is frowning upon, they just, it's been run so poorly, and it's not about basketball. It's not. You guys sit there, why can't we talk the X's and O's? Because the league won't allow us to talk the X's and O's. Because the league made it so divisive. The league made it black, white, gay, straight. The league made it this side of the rope, that side of the rope. Caitlin Clark is that perfect example. She's the poster child of what this league doesn't want. Not what the league wants, but yet the league benefits from the poster child. She's like, just the kid on the playground that's picked last. Nobody wants to deal with her. Nobody wants to deal with him. We'll take him. And yet you realize once you pick him, he's a great player. And then we'll figure out a way to deal with it. Like, that's how they treat her. Like the little stray. Throw her a crumb here and there. They do. And if you don't see that, if you're not watching these games, if you're not seeing the dribble and how everything's thrown out there on social and with these talking heads in the media and the coverage, I mean, I'm telling you, watch tonight. If they don't even throw her name in the conversation to start the broadcast, it tells you everything you need to know. If they say a battle of MVP candidates, Paige Bucket, Beckers and Mitchell, that's all you need to know. It's never going to change. You're not going to broadcast these games on networks. They're not going to, they're not going to keep firing talking heads. They love the fact that they push their own friggin' narratives because it gives us something to talk about. It's just, you have to have a level playing field. You have to. We can talk X's and O's all day long. But what's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. And here's the reality. She does not fit the narrative. She just doesn't. By definition, no, she's not it. She's not. She's just not it. Is she one of the best players in the league? Hands down. Is she one of the most efficient players in the league? Absolutely. Does she elevate the game of her teammates? Yes. Is Wilson one of the most dominant players on both ends of the floor in the league? 100%. Is Mitchell a volume scorer? Has been this consistent offensive threat? Has played lights out? Has played herself into the MVP conversation? Yes. Is Miles a sensational rookie? Yes. All that can be true. But at the end of the day, only one person's going to win the award. And it already feels as though it's been predetermined. So we can sit there and say, play the game on the floor. She has 45 tonight. Then you guys are going to come on today. Has your thought changed? Now she's going to be. No, it's not. It's just not. It's not. You need her to go on an epic run. I don't know. Does it hurt that Wilson sat out the other day? I don't think so. But you need to go on an epic run, and you need Mitchell to struggle. You need her to carry this team over the next 2 weeks. That's what you need. That's exactly what you need. You need her to have a run of 32, 33, 28, 26, 27, couple game winners, maybe a 35-pointer. That's what you need if we're really going to be serious. And she's going to have to do it on the road because the next 6 games are on the road. Atlanta, Toronto, Dallas, New York, Chicago. Anything less, then, we'll keep talking in circles. We'll keep talking in circles. Maybe when Wilson retires, maybe if Mitch has a down year and she has a triple-double, maybe they start giving her a little shine. Maybe they give her a little love. Mostly on videos. I know the league. I do have some connections within the league, but I'm bothered on how Clark is being treated. Jay, I've said this 1,000 times. And you just basically made my argument. I would love to know why she's the MVP. I really would love to know why. Why? Who's the MVP? Wilson? Miles? Who? Yeah, no hard feelings. No hard feelings, guys. Come on. Everyone play nice on the chat. We do the chat to have fun. That's all. Be tough for either Cece or Kelsey can win it this year. I think the league wants Wilson to be the MVP. It would take a little less. Miles wins. Yeah. I mean, listen, we're so adamant about it, but I'll tell you what. All Caitlin Clark wants to do is win a championship. That's all. Mike in Ohio, Q, you can't please everyone. Not trying to. They can't double team Wilson because she has more weapons around her than CC. Tom at Summers Point, Q, it seems like I just jumped on the chat. It seems like there's 2 or 3 culprits. You guys are funny. Hey, your opinions are your opinions, and you are entitled to your opinions. I feel like Pete, I feel like you're laughing at my line that I gave you. It was like the line of The Departed. Why is everyone so difficult? It's not rocket science. It's a Friday. You already checked out. Miss B, what's going on? Where are we going? We got trolls, Miss B. Let me know. We'll weed them out. Let me know. I'll call them out. We will weed them out. Listen, like I said, it's all in good fun, guys. It's all in good, and girls, it's all in good fun. I mean, we haven't even gotten in the NFL yet. 220 I'm on. All I wanted to do was turn around and talk some NFL today. And then what happened? You guys start tweeting at me. You start commenting at me. You're like, let's get in a conversation. Okay, but I wanted to take it a different angle. It would have been a lot easier today to talk about why I believe she will win the MVP. I wanted to go a different route. Not the contrarian route, but I wanted to go a different route. Quartzeye lets Pete come on his channel and cry about Clark and her fans. Other channels like Rudy ban Pete cut off. Well, again, a lot of you guys, if you're tuning in, I've gone a lot more with the WNBA talk of late. I always do a lot with the basketball because I also host the Overseas Dimes podcast. So now I think my show has invited a new portion of a basketball fan base. So we're still all, to be honest, getting to know each other and to learn each other's behaviors. As long as there are no threats on the chat, troll away, directed at me. Have fun with each other. But again, I mean, the channel has seen, I think, a 600 and something odd % jump So I'm getting a lot new viewers, which is great. And I totally appreciate you guys. And it's extremely humbling. We don't want to scare anyone off. Like, it's just sports talk. We're just debating. We're just analyzing. We're previewing. We're recapping. Do I get bent out of shape? Of course, because if you listen to me like many of you have on the air for on the radio, I get very passionate about topics of conversation. So we go back and forth. When we do the NFL and I have players on, we're going to go back and forth. When we do the NFL and we're recapping and previewing games and talking the betting line, it's going to be the same conversation. I don't think it's going to be as contentious. I just, for some reason, think the WNBA is a hot topic. I think the players, the narrative is a hot topic. I think Caitlin Clark is a lightning rod. Cunningham's a lightning rod. Reese is a lightning rod, right? Some of these players are lightning rods. The coach is a lightning rod. And it becomes a very passionate chat. And I think you guys should know, going back and forth and, just basically, I don't know, calling out each other. We can do it in fun. We can do it in fun. You guys checked me. You called me out because of what I said. And I told you exactly what I said and why I said it. You can call me out. I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't bother me one bit. Like I said, if you want to throw any of the venom or the trolling, do it at me, but don't do it at those in the chat. That's all. That's all. Pit these ladies against each other. Let them prove it on the floor. Go ahead. Local TV guy watching Clark in high school against the state runner-ups. She was something, man. Was she not? Man, you guys are calling each other. See, this is what I'm saying. Can you guys play nice? We don't need to call anyone idiots. We don't need to call anyone jerks. I told you, look, how many hosts do you know that do this on channels or podcasts? You can direct your trolling at the host. Don't direct it at others. Play nice. Like friggin' kids. Jeez, my God, I gotta give time out. We know who the catalysts are. At least Rich is honest about KM elevating CC's game. I'm shocked. Pete, I'm objective. Here's the problem with you, Pete. And some of you other guys. You want me to say what you want to hear. I don't do that. I've never done that. I don't care if she wins the MVP or not. I don't care if Indiana wins. I don't care. What I care about is coming on, debating with you, having fun, being engaging, compelling. You guys you subscribe. We get into the NFL season. We get into college football. And then we figure out a way to get you goofballs on the phone line so we can really go back and forth. That's what I do. It's supposed to be for entertainment and engagement. I call my games. I do them all over the place. I love the sport of basketball. I don't know how many times I have to say it. And I love calling the fights. And I love doing it on TV. And I love doing it on outlets. But I call it the way I see it. And this channel is a little different. It's just me, a static camera, and a talking head. I'll bring in guests. We don't really do highlights. I don't do any of that because I want to hear from you guys. I want you guys to engage. I'm not going to cut you off. Just be respectful. That's it. I'm not asking much. Come on the chat and be respectful of each other. Troll at me. I don't give a shit. It doesn't bother me. Trust me. I've got thick skin. You comment all you friggin' want. And make fun of me. Mock me. I don't give a shit. Talk about my little Giants helmet. Whatever. Doesn't bother me one bit. Just be respectful to each other. We're just talking sports. That's it. Jeez, man. So much shit's going on in the world. There's worse stuff going on, man. Jeez. And you guys want to get fired up over, like, insignificant. Yeah, oh my God, can you believe that dickhead on his channel turned around and sit there and said that Caitlin Clark is, playing. Yeah, so what? I'm the dickhead. Whatever, subscribe. I don't care. I don't care. Seriously. I had a guy the other day, he commented and he was like, "You're a jerk off. I can't stand you. Wipe that friggin' grin off your face." And you know what? I just commented back, "Appreciate you viewing the channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button." Oh, man, I can't wait for football. Jay Lee, appreciate you. Thank you. It's all in fun, man. That's it. It's all in good fun. That's all. Wait till football starts. It's going to get nasty. Ugh. I see why Boston picked Mitchell over Clark. I don't have a problem really with that. I was just a little surprised she didn't even mention Clark, which again, at the end of the day, is not the end all be all, right? I hope CC sees what a snake Boston is. I think it's more the head coach. But it plays into the narrative, right? The perception that nobody likes this kid. Nobody wants to play with her. Nobody likes to, they want to play with her because they know she's great and they can get theirs, right? But the mental warfare, the mental games that this head coach has been doing long enough against this kid is unbelievable. I mean, we talked about it months ago. Like, she's never going to speak up for herself because that's not who she is. She does it with her play, and then she'll send little subliminal messages here and there. But she's not one that's going to speak up or speak out. She's not going to go out on social. She's not going to be an activist. She's not going to talk about certain subjects that you guys want her to talk about. That's not her makeup. That's not her makeup. And if you sit there and you get bent out of shape, that's on you. That is absolutely on you. You can't force feed. You can't make someone say something they don't want to say. You can't. We can wish it. I wished that White would have stood up there and the first thing out of her mouth was Cunningham's okay. I don't condone it. And Carrington deserves the ejection. She's got to know better. But she didn't do that. She got pushed by the fan base, pushed by a fanatical fan base, pushed by prominent people in media, right, that have clout. And she turned around, PR basically got to her ear, and she had to make a statement. And then she sat up there and she spewed a bunch of nonsense and lies. This is one of the reasons that I think Caitlin Clark is better off not playing under this coach and under this regime, because they condone it. There's no world where this coach still has a job today. There's no world where a coach doesn't defend her players and instead defends kind of thuggish, punkish play because she coached them. But this is who Stephanie White is. So Caitlin Clark's got that going against her. She's got a GM that decided we're in trouble with the cap. They really didn't construct a roster. They decided because they make a deep run, let's run it back. Doesn't work. Then all of a sudden, you can't figure out the offensive scheme. And really, who's going to be the hub, as you guys like to say? Where's the offense going to get run through? Then she's dealing with the back injuries. Then she's dealing with being clocked in the throat. Then she's dealing with the minutes restrictions. Then she's dealing with, having a couple turnovers, then a poor game. Then the media gets on her. I mean, it's left, right. It's nonstop. It's rinse and repeat. It's rinse and repeat. So she takes her ball and her sneakers and she goes home. Everyone's going to say she's soft. She decides to go overseas. Everyone's going to say she can't handle the pressure of playing stateside. No, after a while, you say enough is enough. You don't want to deal with it. Nobody wants to deal with it anymore. But it's not about basketball, as you guys said. It's not. It's just not. You can have her in the conversation, and you can still give credit to other players that are in the conversation. This is not you have to have one person over another. No. Because, again, that would be disingenuous. That would be agenda-driven. No. You've got a player in Mitchell who definitely deserves flowers and her shine, who's been in the league for 10 years, and now all of a sudden she's really starting to get serious recognition. Good for her. Good for her. I love her game. I don't know what more I can say. Love her game. I don't care if she doesn't play deep. I love her game. She attacks. She has aggression. She's an alpha. She wants the ball. She wants the contact. She wants a shot. Here we go. But Batman and Robin, Robin and Batman, they feed off of each other. All I'm saying is when you watch the game tonight and they go to the opening graphic and they sit there and say a battle of MVP candidates, if it's buckets and it's Mitchell and they don't even mention Clark, they basically prove my point. I don't believe either will win the MVP. Wilson's going to win it. Dominant, rim protector, rebounder, scorer, both sides of the floor. But as Pete asked me, as a couple of you guys asked me, who's been the most efficient offensively, that cog, man in the point, playing the game? I would say Clark. Who's been the rookie of the year, hands down, in the bag, that's going to be a future MVP? Miles. Light years ahead. Now, it'll be interesting when Collier's really 100%, if her numbers are still there, But then who's been that volume scorer who's picked it up over the last month of the season, who's almost an unguardable player? Mitchell. And there's other players, by the way, who are nice players in this league, who are going off in this league. Like, let's not, again, don't get it twisted, man. Don't get it twisted. There's a handful of talent in this friggin' league, man. I mean, Young goes off the other day. Sabrina went off for 20 the other night. There's talent in this league. It's just run piss poor. It's run piss poor. It needs to go back to being just about basketball. And when it goes to being about a basketball, back to basketball, and the games are officiated and there's no biasy attached to it, no agenda, when the networks and the media cover the sport purely on the beauty of the game of basketball, the league will be better. Until then, it's not going to last. If it keeps going down this path and trending in this direction where it gets more volatile and hostile and toxic, no one's going to give a shit about this league anymore. And players are going to decide we're not going to deal with it. And they're going to start to leave. And then you're going to what? Rely on Upshot as a feeder system? Which, no disrespect to them, I think they do a hell of a job, but it is a feeder system. So these young players to get their feet wet and have an opportunity. The league itself, the talent pool, 10, 15 really good players, right? Really good players. But the rest of it, it's bad, man. It's bad. KC fan. Oh, man, you're not, then you might not like the channel. I had a guy troll me. He sent 16, 17 straight comments to me because I said, I think the Chiefs maybe take a step back. Because you're banking on Mahomes, coming off that injury. Oh, my God. I mean, he was blowing up my X feed. Blowing up my X feed. Greetings. What is this? I can't deny what. Hold on. You cannot deny it, the so-called non-trolls who always resort instantly to insults. We don't like insults. I told you, guys can insult me. Let's not insult the ones that are always on the chat religiously. Thank you. But again, stop. Stop trolling each other. I'm not even going to read that one. I'm not even going to read that one. I'm not even going to read that one at all. You guys are too much. Some of you just want to hear what you want to hear. I don't know what to tell you on a Friday too, man. I thought you guys, I just don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Trade out Miles for CC and they do the same thing, if not better. Rich, you remind me of my dad. He turned me into a sports fan. He also liked to debate, slide humor and logic into the conversation. Love it. You can't take it too serious. I love a great debate. I do. But have fun, man. Vulturism. That's the word. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Stephanie White, Crep Coach, I agree. Yeah, I got someone, they said, what-isms? I mean, isn't that what sports talk is, though? Oh, come on, Reginald. What are we doing? She sucks. She's horrible. She's got her head up her culo. Come on, stop it. You want to talk about Vanderbilt? Want to talk about 10 players? Stop. She's a horrible friggin' head coach. She yells and screams. That's how she gets the best out of her players. That's not coaching. That's not leadership. She looked like friggin' Sally Field the other day, accepting the friggin' Academy Award, talking about humility, talking about character, talking about love will prevail. Stop it. It reminded me of Denzel in The Hurricane. Hate put me behind bars. Love is going to break me free. Great movie, by the way. Stop it. She stinks. She stinks as a head coach. Yeah, let's have Miles touch the ball 25 times in the first half, not double or face guard her. That's great coaching. Appreciate you, but no, she's not a good head coach. No one is saying the Fever should be coachless. Whatchamaism. It's a great word. There it is. What about itism flying in the chat? Man, how does that work? How does the whatchaism work? Isn't sports talk all about crystal ball, looking in the future, speculation? Isn't it? But the whatchaism, that is you know what? I had to Google that, to be quite honest, Michael. I had to Google it. I had to literally Google the word. I literally just, throw it in there. Tell me what it is. Whatchamism. What aboutism? What is it? Here it is. What aboutism? Okay, here it is. Rhetorical deflection tactic used to respond to an accusation or difficult question with a. Who the hell comes up with it? Is this a new word? Am I still learning about this word? I know I went to a small little liberal arts university, communications, mass communications. Shout out York College, 88.1. Counter accusation instead of direct defense. It shifts the focus to an opponent's perceived hypocrisy or a separate issue. I don't know if I need a drink, if I got to smoke a joint, if I need fresh roasted coffee to understand this one. What are we saying? It's a deflection tactic? Is that what we're going with that? Whatchaism? It's in the woke lex. That is above my pay grade, man. That is above my pay. Woke lex. Oh, man, can we just get back to just talking sports? Remember when we just talked sports? That's all. I love how everyone, the funny thing is, I'll peel back the curtain for you for a second. There are actually people that throw certain terms around who will tell you they've experienced certain things and they haven't experienced dick. They haven't. They really don't know what true prejudice and or true racism is. They don't. They really don't. Some people will just throw it around and they think, oh, you know what? You're trying to be cute. And man, I'm telling you, even the younger sports fan or even the younger people, they just wake up and they decide, who am I going to hate today? Who am I going to hate today? Who am I going to have a problem with today? Hey, listen, DB might be again remote tomorrow night for the fights. Check the notifications. I will let you know. We got Sun Belt Association. We're going to be calling those games. And, by the way, I will send you out the notification when we do the Malta League, when we got Warriors Thailand as well. So, all right, you got the games tonight, wokeism or not. I don't even know what the hell to say. I don't know. Maybe I have to expand my dialect. 8.5, Indiana is laying a nice little number. By the way, NFL, we do have some. Let you know, either later tonight, you might get a free-for-all Friday. We might tap into a little NFL. I wanted to talk about Mendoza's preseason debut, but like I said, you guys, you were trying to poke the bear a little bit. It is what it is. So we'll get into a little football. We might do a little free-for-all Friday. I know you guys will be locked into the WNBA. I know you will certainly be locked into the MVP debate, the MVP conversation. And just do me a favor. When you turn the game on, I'm asking you to stop the cap for a minute. When you turn the game on, make sure you remember what I said. Make sure you remember what I said. If they say MVP conversation and they have Buckets and Mitchell and no one mentions Caitlin Clark, I rest my case. What about ism? What about ism? That's a tough one. Schwarber by the way, into the cornfield. Not woke. It's been around for a while. All right, thank you, man. Maybe I'm just getting a little too older. I don't know. I like to walk the dog. I like to do my broadcast. I like to fish. I don't know. What about Reese MVP? She has more rebounds than anyone. All right, shout out on that one to close it out. All right, I will allow you guys to continue to chat. If you like the content, just do me a favor. Play nice as always. Subscribe to the channel. You guys are too much. Remember, it's just sports talk. Have fun. Play nice. We might do a free-for-all Friday later on tonight for about 15, 20 minutes, a little rapid fire. I promise you this. If she goes off for 35 and 10 tonight, I'll be on the air tomorrow. If she has 10 turnovers and they lose, I'll be on the air tomorrow. You can troll all you want. Just remember, I only came on today to tell you why she won't win the MVP, not why she would or should win the MVP. Go Rams. There we go. Get it. Fire Boone. That's customary. All right. Little football Friday. Little Friday football talk tonight. What time is... I have to do a pre-record it. I have to do a boxing pod at 8:05. So I'm sure you guys will be locked into 7:30. You know what? Maybe I'll pop on. You know what I'll do? It's 4 o'clock. Maybe I'll go 7 to 7:30. If you guys want to chime in, a little football talk. Then you guys can go and watch the game, because then I got to do my boxing, and then I got to do my overseas broadcast later on in the night. We'll figure it out. Hit the notification. Subscribe. Wokeism or not. Thanks a lot for putting up with us, Rich. Hey, listen, at the end of the day, it's just, I want you guys to come on the channel and just engage and have fun. We can talk trash. We can go back and forth. But like I said, it's pretty simple with me. And troll me all you want. Call me whatever you want. Thick skin. It's Ricochet, man. It's all good. But just be respectful. I want the new commenters, the new viewers, the new listeners of the show, the pod, the channel. Safe place. Come on. No nonsense, right? I'll flush out the nonsense. Everything's good. It's all good. Don't forget, we're powered by our good friends over at Fresh Roasted Coffee. Three Brooks Bourbon. Get ready with tea. And we want to welcome aboard our new sponsor, Hoops BI, which is a pretty awesome platform. You got to check them out online. It actually will weigh like salary comparisons for players overseas. And then there's like an agent list. It'll kind of map out, if you're averaging certain stats in a certain league, in a certain country, what your pay scale should be. It's very, very cool. So we want to appreciate and welcome them for being a sponsor of not only On Cue, but my Overseas Dimes podcast. All right. Like I said, you guys are too much. Listen, you guys want to do those chats and support the channel. You guys, listen, the subscriptions are the best, but if you guys want me to send you some fresh roasted coffee, you got to do the coffee link. That's all. I have to send the link out. There's no freebies. It's 20% off, but you use the promo code. You can go on Q for 20 if you like fresh roasted coffee. I was trying to enjoy my coffee this morning, okay? My Cafe Cubano, okay? Not Cafe con leche, Pete. And all he was doing was just trolling the hell out of me on the side with one of my videos. I couldn't even enjoy it. So now the reason I'm cranky almost 2.5 hours in is because my coffee time was absolutely screwed up. I felt like Sonny in A Bronx Tale when they screwed up his whole lunch. Remember that scene? When he turned around, he locked the door and he says, "Now you can't leave." I appreciate it. All right. Yes, you guys definitely know sports, and that's why we do what we do. You guys are fantastic. Ash, you got the last one to sign off. Like I said, I will wait for the end of the season to determine if CC is in a conversation for MVP. Ash, with the final Friday thought and word. Yes, we are leaving because it's 2.5 hours. We got to walk Kiki. We got to get the protein shake. We got to get some fresh roasted. We got to prep for broadcast later. We'll talk to you guys later on. Troll me all you want when the video goes on demand. At Rich Q on QX and IG. TikTok, at Rich Q on a mic. And I always caution you, if you follow me on TikTok, you better not be sensitive because the hate really comes out with some of the comments. Have a good Friday. Little free-for-all Friday, rapid fire later on tonight. We will always, no, it's not from Brokeback Mountain. Always talk to you. Is that, what are we doing? Oh, we can't leave on a Friday with that. Yes, a Bronx Tale. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. All right, Michael, be well. You guys are too much. We will talk to you later. Free for all Friday. As always, be safe, be sound. This has been On Cue. I'm Rich Quinones. Hasta luego, mi día.